I don't care if you've been voting every night in them Golden Eggplant Awards. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with that dang shit on my left. The oldest ninja in the world, old ninja.
So I just noticed we are following 666 people on Twitter.
It's a good
I'm
number.
not sure if that's
It's a
coincidence.
good number.
666. On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, choke people out on threes and fours, Chronos.
How the hell you get fired when you already got fired? I'm just saying.
Last but not least, we got your boy Stitch.
Guess who's not on the no-fly list?
Blue is in the ether. He will probably be jumping in like the Kool-Aid man bursting through the door soon. But the show must go on.
That's why we're a little bit late. So, because we were waiting for him to fix some technical difficulties. But yeah, we are here. Yeah, let's talk about listener of the week. It would be user 327561421. Also, one of our coworkers is listener of the week. Just got crazy.
Very nice.
So, yeah, luckily he's a young guy.
He's gonna tell the boss on your ass.
I know some people at my job. They listen to the podcast. I'm like, I don't like talking about it, like, because it's like, yeah, if you listen to the podcast, like, this is probably not the person you're used to interacting with at work because I have a different work personality. But I thank you all for listening. If you listen, I try not to be an asshole at work. Obviously, I like being employed and getting paid good amounts of money. And also, first in the chat, nobody's chatting yet, but people are in there. But nobody. Oh, there we go. Warrior Fellow, what's going on?
He's fucking fam, man. He been down with us since
almost
I don't know, years.
I think the only person that's been listening longer than him might be Mahai Blur. Yeah, I think he's the longest listener, like the first, as far as I know.
God damn. Yeah, just much respect. And then every time we go to like a local con or event, I think he's always been in the mix or been at the panel and whatnot. And it's just, we got to get drinks with him. What is that?
It's called dope.
What?
That's some rainbow colored beer.
It's a triple IPA called dope.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's like, and it's almost 12% alcohol. So,
God dang.
I'm gonna drink that with some band. Let's see, who's the maker of this? It is Levante Brewing Company, and I got this through Tavor, which, I mean, at this point, they should probably fucking sponsor us. I wish we had a link I could give out. They're a great company. It's basically, if you guys are used to like Woot, remember Woot? It's still around. But
yeah.
Basically, multiple times a day, they have like a beer that you can get, and you can just click, buy, and you put it in a box, and every month they send out whatever is in your box. So it's a good way to spend a shitload of money. Because what happens is when you press like they'll have like this beer was on there. I think it was in a pack. And I bought like maybe one or like two or maybe three. And you put it in your cart, it charges you right then, so you know you're getting charged. But then what happens is, because there's no easy way for you to see the running tally of how much shit you bought, you can be me like a dumbass, and then 1 month you might have bought almost $500 worth of beer. So yeah, that can happen.
Your boy Blue coming from you live.
But yeah, Tavor is a dope service, and I really enjoy their whole business model, and the fact they have beers on there. Some of them are quite rare. Some of them that can be like $100 a bottle. Obviously, if you can't afford $100 a bottle, then don't buy it. But yeah, some of them are like already aged. They have some that are like aged for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. So yeah, it's a great service.
I think you posted some Instagram stuff of like just bottles on bottles on bottles once.
Yeah, actually, I have another one I got to post, and this is a shout out to Patrick, who lived out here briefly in Alameda. We met up during the Rona, unfortunately, but he's the one who put me on the Tavor, and he got his. I think you got like a $10 credit if you refer somebody. So yeah, I should probably get like a thing. I should probably reach out to him, just be like, hey, can you sponsor us? Give us like a code we can give out, because
hell yeah,
it's great. I love beer, so that's a good way to maybe we could do like a beer club thing. You guys buy the same beer as me, and we enjoy them. Talk about them.
Fuck yeah, I ain't got nothing else to do besides drinking.
Yeah.
Old Ninja.
Oh guys, I'm tweeting out right now.
I'm too. I did the first tweet. If you want to try to finish.
Pour out that some type of beer or beverage or something. Old Ninja, what you got?
More leverage. We doing some King Cobra tonight.
Mm.
Yeah, we're pouring this bubbly out for. We're gonna start with Marian Ramsey, best known for the role of Officer Laverne Hooks in the Police Academy series.
Oh yeah.
She started out doing stage productions of, I believe it's pronounced Ebby or Ebby. Yeah, we'll go with that. Ebby and Grind, and she toured the nation in the musical Holly Dolly back in the '80s. She was an avid advocate for AIDS awareness and attended charity events. She has also appeared in such shows as The Jeffersons, MacGyver, The Cosby Sketch Show Cause, and even Robot Chicken. In 2015, she reunited with her Police Academy stars Steve Guttenberg and Michael Winslow in the sci-fi camp movie Lava Lantula, and its sequel to Lava to Lantula, which was the next year. She died Thursday in LA at the age of 73. No cause of death has been given.
Wow.
Next up, we have Jessica Campbell. Jessica Campbell is best known for her roles in the movies Election and the TV show Freaks and Geeks. She starred in other films such as The Safety Object with Glenn Close, as well as a movie called Junk and Dad's Day. Her performance in Election garnered her an Independent Spirit Award nomination. She had retired from acting to become a naturopathic physician. Sure. I believe that's someone that's supposed to help you discover like chronic illness or chronic pain,
Yeah,
like the source of it.
Don't sound like an actual medical doctor.
Sure,
but,
sure. According to
Like a
TMZ,
homeopathic.
yeah, according to TMZ, Jessica went to visit her mother and aunt after visiting some patients or after attending to some patients, and she collapsed in the bathroom and did not recover.
Damn.
She passed away on the 29th of December, but the news of her death was just recently made public. The cause of death is yet to be determined. She was 38.
God damn.
That's like the second celebrity we talked about that family didn't let everybody know she passed away until like months later. Well, in her case, a couple of weeks, but still.
Still time went by. Next up, we have.
I wonder real quick. How I was just thinking about Hooks from Police Academy. I wonder how many of the rest of them are like still around. I know her partner. Ironically, her partner in it was Hightower, who was like Ed Too Tall Jones. I know he passed away. And I think in the movies, a lot of times they were always like teamed up together because he was always like gigantic and like lumbering, and she always had like the soft-spoken voice.
Tiny
And
voice,
so, like
yeah.
something would happen at the end where she would go like ape shit on somebody.
Don't move, dirtbag.
Yeah, she'd always say dirtbag. So I know Steve Guttenberg is still around because he's on Ballers. I know me and Stitch, we watch Ballers, and Gutenberg's like this sleazy, like Harvey Weinstein type on Ballers. And then Michael Winslow, I actually saw him do some stand-up like a couple of years ago. He was doing like some stand-up on Comedy Central, I think, or some network. So I know he's
Was he
still
the one
around.
with the sounds
Yeah,
and the
he
voices?
did the sounds and
Sound
stuff. Like
machine.
if you ever seen Spaceballs, he did. He's the only black dude on the crew. Did all the crazy sounds. That dude was awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google some of the guys just to see if they're like still around and what they're doing. Like Tackleberry and I know Bobcat. Bobcat's still around, I'm sure. But the dickhead like captain guy.
Oh yeah.
What was his name?
Bull?
I
Not Bull. I'm thinking somebody else.
Yeah, I remember, but I'm not sure if he's still with us anymore. But you know, give us see if you can give us an update by the time I get to the end, because we got a couple more. Next up, we have Julie Strain, the queen of B movies, has passed away. So Julie Strain was a Playboy model and penthouse pet who became a comic book and video game star, so to speak. She with 134 films under her belt. She's a sex symbol and a cult
Cronus,
Yeah.
Cronus, you want to remove the for the live stream? It shows the camera, the microphone, and the hang up thing.
Yeah, it's not going away for some reason. I don't know why it's not going away. It usually just goes
Okay,
away,
never mind.
but
Yeah.
I was trying to do it earlier.
Okay, never mind. Sorry about that, Ninja.
where was I? Oh, so yeah, she was a sex symbol and a cult favorite icon. She did manage to have a couple of roles, like small roles in films such as Beverly Hills Cop 3, Naked Gun 33 to 3rd, She was the main character in the animated film Heavy Metal 2000, and she was the basis of the video game Heavy Metal Fact 2 or Fact Squared, depending on the graphic that you see. Julie had suffered a head injury from a fall from her horse when she's in her 20s. This fall may have contributed to her suffering from dementia.
Like Christopher Reeves kind of head injury from a horse?
Well, Christopher Reeves was
spinal injury.
paralyzed after.
Yeah, he had a spinal injury.
So she's
Okay.
yeah. She's been reported to have died 3 times, including 1 year ago today, but unfortunately she passed on the 10th of this month. She was in hospice care until she passed due to complications to dementia.
Wait, isn't she
the age of 54?
Isn't
58,
she
sorry.
Isn't she the one where they misreported it again? Like they said that she passed away, but then they said that she was alive, and then a day later they're like, oh yeah, she's really dead. Like it was really weird.
Yeah, it's happened to her 3 times. They said she was dead, then she wasn't. Literally, today's January 13th, 2020. They said that she was dead, but she wasn't.
2021.
Apparently, she was just she was in hospice care for quite a while. So
It's weird. It's weird not to have basic. Well, I mean, it's not really that weird in today's terms, but getting basic facts so mixed up like that, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So last up, we have Tommy Lasorda. Former baseball pitcher, LA Dodgers manager Tommy Lasorda has passed away. Lasorda played for the Kansas City Athletics back in 1956. And then he coached the Dodgers in 1973. He also played for the New York Yankees and the AAA Denver Bears. He's won 2 World Series championships with the Dodgers as manager, and he had a number of obscenity-filled tirades, some of which were taped and became underground classics, like his explosion over Kurt Bevacqua in 1982. Probably his most famous tirade is the one against a reporter who asked about Dave Kingman, who hit 3 home runs against the Dodgers in a game. Lasorda was the voice of Ruff Colley in the film Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco. He has a cameo in the film Ladybugs. He portrays dugout wizards in the kids show The Baseball Bunch. He's appeared in numerous TV shows such as Silver Spoons, Who's the Boss, Fantasy Island, and Everybody Loves Raymond, and a lot more. He was part owner of Lasorda Foods, which was primarily for pasta sauces, and he was asked by then President George W. Bush to serve as delegate to the U.S. National Day at the World Exposition in Japan. In 2008, the Japanese government gave him the Order of the Rising Sun and gold raised with Rosette, a prestigious award for, I guess, an outsider. He was the oldest living Baseball Hall of Famer until his death on January 5th, where he suffered a cardiac arrest. He was 93.
Impressive.
I knew he was. He had just gotten out of the hospital, maybe like a week or 2 prior to his passing. And then when they went over like some of his, I guess, stats, he also coached the Olympic baseball team in 2000 and had an upset and got the gold medal. They beat out like Cuba or like Puerto Rico, which was like a big upset at the time. And then I think he coached the Dodgers from like 78 to like 98. It was like some really, really long span where he was like the Dodgers like coach, and like for anyone being a head coach of that long of a time span is like really, really unheard of and everything. But he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I mean, I'm a Giants fan, but you can't not have respect for Tommy Lasorda, even though he's a Dodger manager. He's a legend.
For sure.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
mean, I kind of truncated a lot of stuff, but he's been in the media for so long. Like everybody, if you say Tommy Lasorda, people are like, oh, I know that guy. It's a baseball guy. You know, at the very bare minimum. So, there you go.
For sure. Good fucking shit. All right, Blue. What was going on with you? Did you want to get in here? I know you jumped in late.
Oh no, I just want to look at this fucking.
Is that a grapefruit? Is that a grapefruit?
Yeah, it's a fucking grapefruit.
Jesus
This thing
Christ.
is like damn near as big as my head, dude.
That's
Like,
the
it's
man-
fucking insane.
You got the Mandingo with grapefruits, bro.
This grapefruit pie represents the size of my baby right now.
God damn.
Oh shit!
No, that's probably way bigger.
Yeah, the way younger.
It's fucking insane. But no, nothing. I just jumped on late. How was having? Actually, I think what the issue I had is I jumped on Discord to post up that we were going live, and I think that fucked up all my configurations for like my webcam and microphones and everything because Discord thought I was going live on there, so it started to configure everything to that, so kind of threw everything off. So yeah, I gotta make sure not to do that next time.
It's all good. Yeah, I gotta do the same thing. I have to make sure to start this chat first before anything else, because then it'll mess everything else up.
Yeah.
So all right.
All right.
Prodigy.
Good shit.
There we go.
Y'all want to jump on in? Do we want to start with some fun stuff? I know we went heavy on real life right off the bat last week.
That we
It's up
did.
to y'all.
We can get into that Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai was
sure
quite
did.
good. Everybody watch it?
I'm still working my way through. I think I'm like on the 5th, but go ahead, y'all. I've slowed down, but go ahead.
Woo.
I'm trying to remember. I watched it all in the first day. One of the cool things about it that I loved about this series was that even before the series even started, like Netflix decided to release it early. So I think it was supposed to come out like on the 13th, not 13th, but like this Friday it's supposed to come out.
Yeah,
Was the date? Okay, so yeah, and it's funny because in the ad, they had Johnny at his computer. He's like, that won't do, and he's like changing the date on the Netflix screen to January 1st. I just thought that was funny to kick it off. But no, this season was really good, and like last season we ended with the school brawl that went down, and like the one kid getting injured badly, and like to the point where he was facing a coma, which he turns out to be like paralyzed from his waist down. But yeah, Johnny gets him out of his rut, and apparently he can walk again.
It's the power of badass.
But I mean, yeah, it was crazy. The thing was that the school fight, because it was so huge and so disruptive, it actually like ripples into the adult lives. Like the fight at the school affected the community. It affects Daniel's business. It affected a lot of lives. So you see the fallout like very, very early in the beginning of season 3. Like people go to jail, people are on probation. You got Daniel's business like losing deals, people pulling out, don't want to work with him because of what happened. Nobody wants to be associated with a huge fight where a kid got paralyzed. So everyone's trying to distance themselves. So basically all the adults are trying to work their way back into good graces right from the jump.
Yeah, and it was interesting because like the tournament, the All Valley tournament, they were gonna pull out too because of the violence, and they had to get convinced to like still put the tournament back on. I thought that was pretty interesting. It's like, well, let them kick each other's ass in the tournament. I mean, that's the easy solution.
That one scene when they're talking in front of the council and like Danny Russo stands up, he's like, "Yeah, I used to be bullied when I was a kid," and somebody in the background was like, "I heard you were the bully." That shit had me dying on the ground, dude. That shit was so fucking funny. Like there was like a heckler in the fucking crowd, which was great.
Yeah, it was all bad.
My favorite scene was when he brings the laptop to the pawn shop, and he's like, and the pawn, did you charge it? He's like, you said it was
wireless.
Whatever. And I just started dying laughing.
Yeah.
Because Johnny has no idea how any technology or anything works. He's so cool.
That's amazing.
That's why
so great.
I love him as a character because because we all know a guy like that. You know what I mean? Like some guy we knew in high school that just never grew up. Still trying to drive the badass car and get the babes. It's just like, what? Are you serious? Like, what are you doing? Like, you need to get a real job.
I will never get over him because
he wrote that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'll never get over him. It's like jarring because we're obviously in 2020, 2021, but like him calling kids pussy to their face is just the greatest thing. I love when he does it because it's so 80s, but it's like it's a different day. You don't do that now, and that's what works to me.
Well, I bet you they had to sit down and like be like, hey,
and
which?
Miguel has to like.
Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I had to like school him on normal shit. Like he wrote that long ass fucking letter to his ex and everything, and he's like, "Oh, this is fine." And Miguel was like, "No, don't send that." And then when he ends up sending the letter, he's like, "When do you think she'll get it? She lives in Colorado, so it takes a little bit, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, it's instant. I was like, oh god.
That's so good.
But I bet you there was like a board meeting where everybody. Hold on, give me a second. Where everybody like sat down and they were like, okay, which words from the '80s can we use that are not as offensive today? Like, because I was thinking like, you're lucky you didn't say like the F word. You know what I mean? Like the bad F word. So like that was regularly used in in the '80s, and like all these other like racial words. So I think they navigated pretty well all these terms that are no longer acceptable and used. I mean, calling somebody a pussy, still pretty. It's still okay. It's still, people won't get so mad about it. Somebody probably will, but you can call somebody a dick too. It's not as offensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the first season that Netflix took over the show, so this is all produced by Netflix, while the other 2 seasons were all YouTube Red. But one of the cool thing I like is how they kind of we got a little bit of backstory on the Cobra Kai sensei guy.
Kreese.
Kreese. We got to see his background, and I thought that was kind of cool because we knew he had a military background, and from the Karate Kid, I think 2, where we get introduced to one of his friends from the military who joins the Cobra Kai. We got to see like that relationship, but I just like the twist they had with it. So Kreese used to work at a diner, and this like local bully came in there, like football guy, because he's got a Letterman jacket, he's got the hot girl and the cool car. But then he walked into a diner and picking on some busboy type person, and you think that guy is Creed, but it turns out Creed's the busboy who got knocked over. So it's constantly these people who become these karate masters or legends were bullied as a kid. Because even Johnny, he talks about his father, not his father-in-law, but his stepfather used to make fun of him, and I'm not sure if he talks about him beating him, but he had a rough fucking childhood growing up as well. So I think that's cool. They all have stories that are kind of similar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did appreciate them reaching back and showing us Kreese's backstory or whatnot, because in the other Karate Kid movies, you don't really get that. You hear him talk a little bit about it, and then in Karate Kid 3, you see his homeboy come in,
Silver,
join Cobra Kai.
I think it's Silver, right?
But,
Something Silver. Something
Yeah,
Silver.
Yeah. So
he's still alive, right?
I believe so.
I hope, because at the end of the season, I think that's who he calls. So
yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was just crazy. I got to bring up the fact that a couple of things. One, their whole buddy cop thing in the beginning with she and Danny running around in in his Audi. That shit was fucking. I felt like they pulled that from the 80s, like they were Magnum PI or Miami Vice running through the streets trying to chase down criminals. I thought that shit was a nice callback, but it's also hilarious because they kept arguing the whole time, and the wife even calls and said, "Hey, you guys know you're not cops, right?" And they're like, "What are you talking about? We're just gonna go talk to some people." And it totally turns into a little cop, but like a buddy cop fucking show for a couple episodes. That shit was fucking great.
And then we also got to see them fight together, which is kind of cool. I like how they keep playing the story. Danny and Johnny, they're so fucking similar, and they probably would be best friends. They just kind of lost the rivalry that they have between each other, because they get along whenever they're hanging out with their wives or with their exes or whatever. They're fucking buddy, but then one person will say something wrong, and then the rival will just flare back up again.
That's so good though. It makes for great TV drama. The one thing I'm kind of upset about is that there's no Aisha.
Yeah.
Aisha's not in season 2 at all. The writers had some bullshit as excuse talking about, we didn't have a story for her. I'm like, hold on.
It's so dumb.
Aisha was the total bridge between Tori and Sam. Aisha grew up with Sam, and then she got to befriend Tori. She could have been the link to potentially break or try to mend their bond. And they could have wrote it to where maybe things were getting good, and then something happens and then it falls apart again. But they didn't do any of that. None of that. They didn't bring her back. Nothing.
I have.
They also didn't bring back the teacher guy.
Yeah, I was just going to really quickly say, I have a feeling, obviously things go on behind the scenes. Because this came out on YouTube Red, I want to say 2016, 2017, somewhere in that ballpark. Maybe that gap in time is what's really part of the problem for that specific actress in terms of where she is in life and other priorities and whatnot. Something probably happened behind the scenes to where they couldn't get her in.
I can eliminate part of that, and it's not that. She wanted to be on the show. So, but they
she said that? She put that out there?
Yes, and
Okay.
she was really hard up for money, too.
Oh.
So hard. So what happened was, she had a boyfriend, apparently, that wasn't a great guy and like got a DUI in her car and crashed her car, and she didn't have enough money, and she got him out of jail, and she didn't have enough money to get a new car, so she had to do a GoFundMe just to fucking buy a new car. And then something else happened too, where she had to ask for like some more money. It's just like, dude, how do you have an actress that is on this show, you know, that can't get enough money to like just basically live like a decent life? You know what I mean? That's pretty fucked up. And then Netflix dropping her from it, when obviously Netflix should have probably paid more than YouTube Red. And it's just like, it's fucked up. I hope that I mean, even though in the beginning of the show they briefly mentioned her about how she went to a private school or whatever, but I hope they bring her back in the next season, because I remember I was watching and I was like, where the fuck is she? Like, it seems so like she, why isn't she with Cobra Kai? Remember? Oh yeah, that's right. They said that, you know, she went to a private school. I'm like, she was one of the highlights of the show. I mean, seriously, you know, especially because she lost weight in season 2 as well. So it's like you could tell that like her training was paying off.
But still, I obviously we enjoyed the character. I think there was a spot for her in season 3, and they chose not to go with it. I think that was a poor decision. Hopefully they do bring her back for season 4. There's been people asking about her. I saw it like, hey, where's Aisha? What happened? That's why what Cronus talked about started to come up. People were finding out about her. I guess she posted on her Instagram is where she was communicating where she needed help. I guess this is her first and only acting gig.
Oh wow,
was the show. So I'm hoping that she's able to get more work, and I hope she comes back for season 4. I really liked her character. So
yeah. And the actor's name is this might sound familiar to you guys, but it's Nicole Brown, which I was about to fucking say.
Yeah.
All on my toes. But I said Nicole Brown because we went to high school with somebody with that name.
That we did.
Yeah. I gotta give props too. I really like Miguel. I mean, I think he's just kind of grown and just he was obviously really cool. He was in terms of his development for those first 2 seasons, but this actor just seems to impress me. I mean, obviously this is a fun comedy karate series, but yeah, Miguel and Tori impressed me kind of the most for the young actor.
I think Miguel's real name in real life is way more badass. His name is Zolo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Is it Zolo?
Yeah, his name is Zolo. XOLO. Yeah. Zolo.
I'm sorry. Real talk?
Yeah, real talk. That's his name. It's a badass name. We should probably have him on the podcast sometime. That'd be cool.
I would have my wife let us name her son that. It's a pretty dope name.
Yeah.
I low key would love to see him play someone like Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle. If DC
that'd be really good.
With Blue Beetle live action, that'd be interesting.
Even that'd be great casting.
I think Hawk too. He does a really good job. Like not only like his acting is decent, but I think that his actual choreography when he's doing like fight scenes is fucking fantastic. I don't know how old the kid is, but I mean he's one of the highlights of people that understand like how to really throw like flashy kicks and punches, and you know the way he moves, like it's pretty impressive. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in season 2 they did like a really long shot. I talked about it last time. They did in the fight scene with the at the end in the school. There's a really long shot where it's like you can tell people's choreography in like a long shot because you have to do it all in one take, and it's like 5 to 10 minutes long. And this one did another one, and I think it was like maybe it's the last episode, maybe the second last episode. Yeah, in the house, they're doing another long shot, and it really shows off like his choreography, and then it shows like some other people like they're a little bit more sloppy with the choreography. Like you can tell like they're not getting close enough to make the hit believable, or they'll pause and stuff like that. So I think his choreography is like it's really good.
Oh yeah, I don't know if any of you saw some of the behind the scenes stuff that they're showing, but the actor that plays Hawk and the actor that plays Miguel, they're like going at it. Like they have their moves set down. It looks like they're moving fast. They're trying to, you know, it makes it look like they're trying to hit each other, but then they stop and they reset and then they do it all over again. They show the fight scene in the woods from season 2, I think. Is that the one where they're doing their little paintball thing or whatnot, or they have to bring back their little flag?
Pick up the flag. Because the teacher's in there. The teacher.
Yeah. That fight scene there, they showed some behind the scenes, and it looks really good. You can see them hitting their mark. You can see them trying to make it like really fast and believable. It was really cool stuff.
Can I give you a complaint? That's kind of I'm gonna be an asshole for a minute.
I mean,
So they've made the two females be like the main badasses in this, which is fine. But there's times like in the show, well, like Tori especially, well, like she'll hit a dude that's like twice her size like once, and it's basically like a one punch man thing where like the guy just crumples. I'm like, huh? It's like, come on, man. I mean, like physics. I mean, and there are spots that wouldn't knock somebody out or hurt them that bad. Where it's like, all right, if you gotta make it like you need to make it more believable to me. Or like if you're gonna have a female whip some dude's ass, she's not gonna one shot this dude unless you hit him like in a spot that would knock him out, like his fucking jaw or the back of the head or somewhere else. It's just like you can't hit somebody like in the shoulder and they fucking fly back or some shit when you weigh fucking 120 pounds and dude you're hitting is like 230. Like it's not gonna happen. Like you need to they need to work on that. Like maybe if you threw like a bunch of punches and did some other shit, it's more believable. But there was like in that whole like in the house fight scene where Tori walks out and she just hits a dude once and it just like crumples like a fucking piece of paper. I'm just like, come on, guys. Like let's get a little. I mean, I love the show, but it's like that's not realistic like at all.
Yeah, no, it's a fair complaint, and it's something that if you pay halfway attention, you see it on a lot of shows. But yeah. So, but no, that's fair. That's more than fair.
I mean, if it was
Arrow started to suffer from that too a little bit.
I mean,
towards the end.
What was that one chick? There's like a few chicks where I could believe like you can knock a dude out, even if they're big. What was that boxer's name? That black chick. She was like
at the end where that joins the Cobra Kai.
No. In real life, she was a boxer, and she's a badass. No, not her. There was another chick.
Are you talking about
the chick that Layla Ali refused? No, the woman that Layla Ali refused to fight because she knew she was going to get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
The Dutch woman. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll get her name. Hold on.
Where she would literally like I like her. I will believe that she would knock somebody the fuck out like a dude. But especially an untrained fighter, like she probably knocked somebody out. But I'm like, you weigh 120 pounds, you hitting a football player, like that shit ain't happening. So you can drop kick him. That shit ain't happening.
I mean, Gina Carano could probably one shot a dude.
Well, yeah, but she's bigger too, though. Gina Carano, she weighs probably like conservatively like 170, probably more than that. But she's built,
She sure
correctly.
is.
Yeah.
Well, I really like
the name you were looking for, Lucia Riker.
Yes, that's her. She would fuck people up.
She was in $1 Million Baby.
Yeah, I think she was also in what was it, Fight Science, where they showed like she had more power than a man her size, like way more power.
Yeah, she was impressive.
I kind of like how in the show they brought back a lot of cast cast members from like the movies. Like we got to see Danny went to Japan to go visit Miyagi's I guess town. I can't remember what it was called. I was on my tongue. I just lost it. But while he was there, like the whole town, there used to be like an old rice farming village, and all of a sudden it's a fucking strip mall. Basically.
Yeah, it's all
and
TGI Fridays and shit.
He's like, what the fuck? But when he's there, he runs into like an old flame. It's the girl from the Karate Kid 2 movie. But then while he's there, like he goes against a rival. What guy's name is Choice, I think.
Chosen.
Yeah. So they have flashbacks to that, and like Chosen's like this still like fucking broody guy and stuff like that. And they end up like fighting each other, and we got to see some more like history about the karate that the Miyagi like dojo uses and stuff like that. We get to see like more of it. Like they're mainly was used to protect, but it also did other things like taking basically hitting your opponent's pressure points to make them not be able to use like certain limbs and stuff like that. I thought that was fucking dope. And then like the whole like honking of the nose when Chosen fucking beats Danny after using all those fucking moves and stuff.
Yeah, that shit was funny. Yeah. And it was cool to see them like hitting places that you would actually those places would really hurt and you would not be able to use your arm for a minute, like in your armpits and shit like that. So yeah. Stitch, get in here.
Really cool,
You've been very quiet.
Stitch?
Stitch?
Yeah.
Stitch.
You haven't said shit for like a minute. Like more than multiple minutes. You're trying to unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah, well, because the baby's in here, and Lilo had to heat up some food real quick, so I put it on mute, and baby's smacking stuff on the ground, so that's why.
baby being a baby. Well, I think it's kind of cool how Samantha, how she's kind of got like a little bit of a
PTSD or PTS. Yeah.
Yeah, from basically getting her ass kicked and stuff like that. So every time when Tori's around, she starts having fucking panic attacks and stuff like that. Like the scene when they're inside of the paintball arcade, or I don't know what, I think it was the paintball place where they were trying to.
I think it was laser tag.
Laser tag it was. Where they're trying to fight the Cobra Kai people, and like they end up getting fucking jumped, and like all their people getting fucked up, and homeboy getting his arm broken.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. And then it was funny when the fucking bully drew a dick on his arm.
Yeah.
Like, the high school hot chick wrote like he had a big one or something like that on there. Something fucking funny.
She says, "I love your big dick."
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
and then they ended up getting together.
Imagine being like a 16-year-old girl and fighting someone who wants to be like Shredder from the Ninja Turtles. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
that was a wild ass move. Going back to that high school fight at the end of season 2, and so I did like that, where they kind of showed her being at least early on. I haven't finished it yet, but kind of traumatized by that. Like, you got stabbed by some Shredder shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, it fucks with her for
And
a
you
minute.
also had you had the creepy landlord dude. Tori's apartment thing. I was like, that was at the point where I was like, I need to check to see how old she is or whatever. Because I was like, this is a high school girl or whatever, and this is like a grown ass landlord. I was like, this is getting in a very sketchy, scary territory or whatever. And I was like, okay, let me see what they're trying to do over here.
Yeah, I will say this. Yeah, I felt the same way. And then I always have to remember that not that it's right at all, but there's always this weird fucked up time where you have technically adults and minors going to high school. Like senior year. It's still fucked up.
Yeah.
It's all the way around fucked up. I'm not excusing it at all. But like senior year, you have people who have turned 18 in September who are going to school with nothing but minors. But no way around that being a fucked up scenario. You can't do that.
Yeah,
but I
well,
like how Grease handled it too.
Well, it's like, you know, I mean, they're with 14-year-olds. That's even like that 4-year age difference is fucking gigantic, because you go into school with somebody that's barely a teenager, and you're a grown ass adult. You know, especially if you're actually both. I mean, you're basically a grown adult at 16 as a woman, like as far as like how much you're gonna grow, and then as a man, like 18, you know, physically, that's usually where you're gonna peak, and it's just like, and then I remember going like as a senior, and I'm like looking around, it's like, what are these little kids doing here? Like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, like these little kids are going to the same place. It's very awkward, very awkward.
Yeah, all the way around fucked up though.
And you know what's even more weird is that after you become an adult, after you get out of high school, you don't get that same feeling until like you're in like your mid to late 30s, and then you go somewhere to where you're around like a bunch of young people, and you're just like, what the fuck are all these kids doing here? And it doesn't matter if they're in their fucking like they could be 25 years old, and you're just like, what are all these kids doing here? Like you feel like out of place.
Yeah. All for fucking certain, man. God,
you guys hear about that story about the basketball player? He was a basketball player on Texas. I actually saw this today, where apparently he was actually a 25-year-old man portraying a 17-year-old in high school, and the basketball team was winning against all the like other high schools in Texas until he played against one coach who was from the school he went to when he was an actual fucking teenager, and the coach recognized him. And then, like, they reported his ass, and I guess he got arrested for 2 counts of impersonating a high schooler or something like that. But like, apparently, he also had a 14-year-old girlfriend.
Oh,
Jesus,
that's fucking gross.
Dude. Yeah,
that's some R. Kelly shit right there. That's fucking nasty, man.
That's all bad. That's like, have y'all ever seen the movie Benchwarmers, where they're playing like the Little League stuff, and they're all trying to get this picture, and they get this dude from like Cuba. He's like, literally, he's probably like 30. They're all, how old are you, man? He's all, I'm 13. It's like, he's all drinking rum and pitching at the same time. It's just hilarious.
Didn't Sammy Sosa play that character or something? I mean, I'm thinking something else.
Yeah, I think it's something else.
Fucking Sammy, man. Yeah, that show is fucking dope, man. I love it all the way around. I'm definitely gonna finish it a fucking sap.
You know, I'm really hoping that they release season 4 this year because, dude, January 1st they released it and I fucking finished it in like 2 days. So I got like 364 days until they release another one. That's too fucking long.
And there's other shows that are, other shows that are coming out. I mean, that time I got reincarnated as a slime just dropped, I think this week. So I'm gonna watch that. I started watching the first one, but it was like a recap. I shouldn't have watched it, but actually I probably should have because I need to get a recap because it's been a while.
Yeah, because it feels like that's been like over a year with that one, right?
Yeah, they had like some supplemental episodes, but they weren't like real episodes. Attack on Titan's back. There's other TV shows that are coming out. What am I thinking of? I started watching something else. Was it today or yesterday? That was good. Something else was in like the top 10 on Netflix. I can't remember.
I mean, we got a new show
the
coming
swear
out
word.
Friday.
The swear word show.
Have
y'all watched that yet? Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty funny.
I mean, the first one was
I
fun.
like that they have Nicolas Cage hosting it, and just the first episode, he's just saying fuck as many times he possibly can.
I love the fact that Nick Cage is so fucking comfortable being Nick Cage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's his own fucking thing, and he's always funny. Like, I like him doing comedy, so I'm gonna watch that like probably this weekend.
If he was that comfortable being Nick Cage, he would stop dyeing his fucking hair. Nicolas Cage, stop dyeing your hair. We can all tell. Just let it go. We know your hair is fucking gray. It's all good. You look. I mean, your personality is cool and all, but just let it go, man. Just let it go. Like, I can't. Something about. Don't get me wrong. Women dye their hair all the time, and they wear makeup. I get it, but there's something particularly egregious about a man that dyes their hair. You can tell that they're having because it doesn't even look anywhere near natural. Anywhere near natural. I'm just like, just fucking stop. Just let it go. Your hair's gray. That's the way you are. Love yourself.
Yep. Or do the Mr. Clean thing. You know? But one or the other.
Well, no, he dyed his hair and his beard. It's like the whole thing,
God
I'm
damn.
just like,
He looks like what's the guy from the not the Shamrock commercials, but the OxyClean commercials.
yes.
God damn.
Because that guy, you can tell this shit was fucking. Well, at least his stuff is more permanent than fucking Rudy Giuliani. It's not gonna fucking drip and leak.
Oh,
I think that was demon juice coming out of his ears. I was just like, I don't even believe in demons, but god damn, boy, did he fuck up his whole career. And he got even worse recently, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
We'll try to keep it up.
The one I want to give as a quick example though. Everybody saw Death to 2020, right?
Yeah.
So, on the flip side from Nick Cage, you got Hugh Grant, all gray hair now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he looks like this old British professor guy, basically.
Well,
I did not fucking recognize him.
Well, it's because his face is wrinkled too.
I did not know who he was.
But I mean, look at like a Sean Connery. You know what I mean? That guy didn't give a fuck when he was alive. This is gray. It's like, yeah, I'm gray. And there's like other people out there that I find it. You'll look distinguished. You know what I mean?
There you go.
You won't seem like you're fake.
But,
like just.
Like, with him, I just watched that show on Netflix, not Netflix, on HBO Max called The Undoing that he's in. It's him and Tom Cruise's ex-wife that was in Batman.
Oh, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman, she's in it. Yeah. And he looked different in that than he did in the Death of 2020. Like, and I'm pretty sure they filmed that like maybe a year or two ago, but can't change. Well, maybe could change in that amount of time frame.
I thought Cruz married. What's her name? Katie Holmes.
Penelope
not
Cruz?
Kidman.
No.
He did
Both.
Both are correct.
Yeah. Married them both.
He was married to Nicole Kidman like for like a good 10
long
years
time.
or something.
Long time ago.
Kidman was back in those Eyes Wide Shut days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People forget about that one.
No. People still talk about it.
I think you guys ever watched the Hot Ones?
Every
YouTube?
now and then, there's a few of
You
them
see the
I
one
missed.
you see the one with Nicole Kidman on there? I think it was Nicole Kidman.
No.
But dude, like I think she's South African, right? And man, her
She's
fucking.
Australian.
Australian, bro.
Okay, yeah, then it wasn't her. It was a
Probably
girl from
Charlize.
Yeah, I think it was her. No, I think it was a girl from the Old Guardians.
Yeah, that's Charlize Theron.
Okay, yeah, she was on there.
South
She
African.
curses so fucking much. I was like, God damn, like I couldn't. like you take her as being like a nice, like proper lady, but on that show she was cursing like crazy. I was like, fuck, man, your dad must have been a sailor or some shit.
I mean, if you watched her interview on Howard Stern, she cusses a lot there.
I don't watch Howard.
She doesn't give a fuck.
Fuck that dude.
Real quick, let me switch it up a little bit. Did y'all see the news? I think it was just yesterday, might have even been today. Bethesda did a teaser for an Indiana Jones game. What y'all think of this?
I think it's great, only because not only because Indiana Jones is fucking dope. All right. Obviously, people will talk about Tomb Raider or Uncharted, but Indiana Jones started all that shit. What I thought was cool is that they showed the whip, and I think the whip, if they do the game right, could be fucking really, really cool to play the game, to like have like melee combat, gun combat, and then like the mid-range whip combat. And I think along with puzzles and shit like that, I think that'd be really dope, because none of the other games really did anything like that. I think that the only one that comes close would be sort of Prince of Persia. There was like Indiana Jones-ish that they're remaking that, I think, this year. They need to make a whole new one, because the Prince of Persia games, it's the combat in those games is how you got to like Arkham Asylum and all these other like three-dimensional combat scenarios. Nobody gives them credit for that, but yeah, an Indiana Jones game could be fantastic if they do it right, and I think it could breathe life into the Xbox Series X, because there are very few exclusives out for it right now, and they bought that studio. So I hope that they make it an exclusive to give me an excuse other than buying Halo and shitting on it after I buy it, to like buy the console. I want to be able to play the game, but I also want to own the Series X. I have no, except for Halo, whenever that comes out, I have no reason to buy it, because there's no exclusives out for it that are even announced.
I'm excited for it.
What you got?
I mean, Uncharted and Tomb Raider don't own a monopoly on adventure games.
No,
or whatever.
No.
I mean, there's been adventure games going on way before Nathan Drake, and yet Tomb Raider's been around for a while. But I don't need one video game property to try to encompass all of said genre or whatever. So if Indiana Jones wants to throw their hat in the ring and do what they want to do, it's an established name. They have the money and the backing and working with a good studio. I'm excited for it. And I mean, we haven't had a new Uncharted game since like 2016, 2017-ish or something like that. So I'm down for it. Luckily I haven't seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is going to be Uncharted again," or whatever, because I think a lot of people it's its own separate thing. It was just announced. They didn't put like any teaser trailers or show anything, right?
No, there is a teaser. There's a teaser.
It's a super teaser though.
Oh, there is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 30 something. It's like 30 seconds.
Okay, I might go check it out, see what it is. But yeah, I'm excited to see what goes on with this whip and stuff like that. But I'm happy for it.
For me, I'm a little hesitant with Bethesda as a whole. I mean, my biggest issue with Bethesda sometimes is they make games that don't run very well. Obviously, Fallout 4 was one of the worst examples, falling through the floor all the time and all of that.
But they did Doom Eternal. I mean, and Doom.
I'm not saying I'm not saying every single one, but they've made some games that just didn't run well.
Yeah.
Whereas there's obviously going to be comparisons with Naughty Dog. That's unavoidable. Naughty Dog doesn't do that. So the bar is set for the genre. And if they're able to surpass it, great. I will say, yes, Nathan Drake did not have a bullwhip. I get that completely. But I did love, especially in Uncharted 4 and for Lost Legacy, some of the stuff they did with like the grappling hook stuff.
Oh yeah,
that was incredibly fun. So it's a high bar, but we will see. There's only a 30-second teaser. We haven't seen gameplay. It's super early on. They didn't even confirm anything about exclusivity or whatever like that. I do feel like the franchise as an IP and a name is fairly stale, except for some folks that are older. Because didn't they do the Crystal Skull one that everybody hated a few years back,
Well, that was
10 years ago?
the movie, yes, but they had some games
that's
back
what
in
I'm
the day.
saying. The franchise.
But they had games back in the day too. But it was a long fucking time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, you talking on my 2600, which I'm still playing on.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no,
there's
they had some
also,
on the PC.
there's a
era.
game on the, I know on the original Xbox and I think original PlayStation. There's like 2 Indiana Jones games. They weren't
Sure.
that good, so the IP kind of died. So it's been
It's been a long
been a
time.
minute before we
But
see
ho-
Indiana Jones
Hopefully,
games.
hopefully they can do something impressive with. I can't completely shit on it. I was a little bit surprised, and I'm just saying that they gotta really put the time and make this a winner. Because when I think of adventure stuff in that, I think of Tomb Raider and Uncharted immediately.
True. And before anybody comments on this, we're not looking at the Lego Indiana Jones games because there's a couple of those. The Lego games, they all kind of have the same formula. They're all pretty fun and challenging, but they're not like open world and they're not like these crazy adventure games. They're more like kind of like they say it's for kids, but those games can be a little tricky. It's more teeny.
Those games are fun.
Yeah,
Some of them
so
are good.
but yeah, I'm excited. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is that we know they're doing Indiana Jones 5, and I'm hoping that they're not trying to release this the same time as the film, because then we're probably not going to get a complete game or a very fun game. So I'm hoping they take their time, do their mechanics right, do their story right, maybe get Harrison Ford to voice the character, which would be a first. Do all that, do the right steps to get this game. If it comes out after the movie, I'm fine with it as long as it's good and fun. I don't care.
I hope it doesn't tie into the movie because a lot of times the games that tie into movies, it just doesn't do that well.
Exactly.
They didn't give a date, right?
No.
Good. Yeah, because I think, and I'm glad that they didn't, because I think a lot of times we've seen where they get tied down to this set date, and then they get all panicky or whatever if they cannot make the date that they set, and stuff starts getting rushed. We don't have a finished product. They have to push it back, and then they don't want to push it back again, and we get a cyberpunk type situation. So let them take your time, get it right. However long it needs you to get it done, and we'll play it. I mean, it's not like we're just be like, where's this Indiana Jones game? Put out a good product.
If the game is good, I like
to be the first.
I was gonna say, if the game is good, I like to see a crossover between Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake, and Tomb Raider. That'd be kind of cool.
No,
That's a lot of different studios.
Yeah.
That would never fucking happen, but it'd be cool.
I do
Actually,
not want.
The only thing I think that would possibly happen is Laura Croft meets Nathan Drake, because one studio kind of birthed the other one, so I can see them working together to make that happen. But Indiana Jones, I don't see him in the mix at all.
Have there any updates on the movie for the Nathan Drake movie for?
Oh,
I
actually,
forgot about that.
yeah. I guess Tom Holland tweeted out some pictures from the
That was a while
film.
back, though.
So I haven't seen them, but he tweeted out, I guess, some stuff from both not Uncharted as well as Spider-Man. He tweeted out some stuff that's got people talking. So I don't know what they are. I don't know what they look like, but it was talked about literally today.
I think we gotta be honest. I think the anticipation for the Spidey 3 is way more than the Uncharted with him. If
for
we're
sure.
really honest.
Well,
the expectations are much lower for the Uncharted movie.
Yeah, especially after that Tomb Raider movie, which is getting a sequel for some reason.
Oh, the most recent one?
Yeah, the recent one's getting they already have like a shooting schedule. So
God damn.
Did I watch the last one? I liked the last one, I think. That's the one where she gets trapped on the airplane, right, on the waterfall.
Yeah, I mean they take elements from the game, but it just wasn't that good. At least not.
You know, You know what you guys need to watch is fucking Dora the Explorer. That
Oh,
movie is fucking good as hell. Seriously, it's better than the Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie.
How dare you?
God damn.
No, because bro, you're
I'm talking
tripping.
about like story-wise, not like a sexual appeal.
I just
The
want that.
sexual appeal,
I just want the silver suit. That's all. You know, fuck the rest of the movie. I just want to see that silver suit.
Yeah, man. I don't know about
Yeah,
this.
but no, seriously, it's on Hulu right now. I recommend watching it with your kids. It's really, really good. I watched it 3 times already. The first time I watched it was on the airplane. The second time I watched it at home, and the third time was when the cops showed up at my door.
Oh, shit.
That's not good at all. Not good at all.
God damn.
Wow.
But
Alright.
the girl who plays Dora, she's the same girl from Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg, and she also was the
Oh, okay.
little girl in Transformer.
Okay.
And,
You know what?
Other
Okay.
with Mark Wahlberg.
That's the thing that has me the most nervous about the Uncharted movie. It's not even Tom Holland. It's mostly Mark Wahlberg playing Sully.
Yeah.
I forgot about that bullshit.
Oh shit!
Say hi to your mother.
How you like them out? That shit. It already feels, even though there's no trailer, and I'm not trying to completely shit on it. It feels a little Monster Hunter-esque with that casting on there. But we'll see. We'll fucking see, man. Anyway.
All right.
How you like them apples was Matt Damon.
Man, I fucked up my Boston people, you know?
Oh, damn.
all white people aren't the same.
God
Yeah.
No,
Damn.
Karen.
Oh, shit. Prodigy is racist.
Well, since we're probably switch gears, when we were talking about Netflix earlier, I know we all saw that, and Netflix apparently for this whole entire year, they decided to release a new movie every Friday of the year, which I think is kind of cool. But one of the ones I'm looking forward to is Red Notice with Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Deadpool. He's gonna be in there too.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. I haven't seen like a full trailer, but it just looks fucking funny to begin with, just because Ryan Reynolds in there, and he's always like, whenever he's in a movie with Dwayne Johnson, he's always like, not flirting with him, but he's like trying to talk about how much of a badass he is and how he could be like on his level, not like on like their actual not person. Like his character is always that person trying to be like the Rock's character, even though they're physically nowhere near each other, basically.
I want to see that trailer. That actually sounds pretty fucking interesting. They got some goddamn stars on it, but I haven't seen it yet.
But yeah, I know that Halle Berry's directing a movie on that's gonna be released on there. There's a movie coming out with Kristen, what's the girl's name?
Stewart?
Not Kristen Stewart. The girl, the chubby.
Ritter?
No. Oh God, can't even name. She was in Ghostbusters, the chubby one from Ghostbusters, the female version.
Oh, Melissa McCarthy?
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy and the black lady from Ma. They're apparently it looks like they're playing
Oh,
superheroes.
yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about. That's the one where they're like, kind of like Men in Blackish.
I'm not sure it's Men in Black. They look like they have superpowers because there's one scene where Melissa McCarthy's character throws a bus.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes me think of that one superhero that they had a comic book for a bit. I wonder if that might tie into that or if it's just something
Faith?
totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Fuck outta here.
That one was not a winner to me.
So we get this Friday we get 2 episodes of WandaVision dropping on Disney Plus. So far I've heard pretty positive things, I guess, about the episode. I think from what a lot of reviewers are saying, they got a chance to watch maybe 3 of them, and it's been, I guess, positive. I haven't read the details on what they said about it because I want to go in fresh and not have any idea of what's really going on, even though I kind of know what the storyline is surrounding based on the comic storyline. But what are your guys' thoughts, anticipations, and predictions for WandaVision this Friday?
I have no idea what to fucking expect at all. So I'm going in really, really fucking blind. Obviously, we saw the events of Endgame, so I don't even know if this is before, after, or in an alternate reality. But what do y'all think?
No, this looks like I forget the name of the comic, but I read the comic series. It's like one of the. It's not
House
obscure.
of M.
What's up? What is it called?
House of M.
Oh, it's House of M. That is not what I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be. I thought it was gonna be like the. There's this whole storyline where they basically take all the villains and some civilians that are bad, and they brainwash them, and they put them in like this domed environment, and they don't know that they're in a domed environment, and then it's all like everything is fake. And I forget what the name of it is called. Damn, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a couple of years back, and that's literally what it looks like, what they're trying to do. But it could be House of M, but it looks like what I'm talking about, because it seems like everything is kind of fake in this environment, and some people realize like what's happening, but they can't escape, and so they basically just play along with like the story.
In that storyline, real quick, Kronos, is Wanda doing things to manipulate kind of reality with her magic, basically, or her powers?
There's like a different. It's like a government agency that like creates this whole environment that's fake to make to reform criminals, and they have people in there too, like normal people in there too, but they're all brainwashed as well. And it's just to make it's basically to try to reform all the criminals. And yeah, it's like really interesting. I think it's Baron. What was the guy's name? Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo.
I think he ends up taking it over and like fucking everything up. But it's a really interesting storyline.
Is it Earth 1610 or 1610?
No, it's God damn it. I think it's Standoff maybe. Might be Standoff.
So that would be super interesting, and that would make sense because we're going to see Baron Zemo again in Falcon and Winter Soldier, so that could lead up to that possibly.
Yeah.
I do know we're going to see new or be reintroduced to characters in WandaVision, because we're going to see a grown Monica Rambeau confirmed. She's in the trailer. Also, I feel like this. I believe this is after Endgame, because if you saw the like 2-minute trailer, the Vision meets a character that says you shouldn't be here, and he says, "What makes you say that?" And she says, "Because you're dead." And he like backs away. He doesn't understand what's going on. There's other instances where people were talking about him, and someone asked him, "Didn't you die?" And he laughs about it. So I feel like this would be after Endgame, but anything could be possible with this.
What I'm talking about, it is Standoff, and that's what I'm thinking of, that this is likely going to be, because that's the Winter Soldier is in there as well, and basically there's like they get a piece of, I think it's one of like the Infinity Gems or some shit like that. It's some cosmic thing that they get, and end up creating like this whole. They end up using that energy to create this whole like fake environment to like put all the bad people in, and then with some civilians as well. And it's like. It's really, I think, Kobiak. I think a Kobik, something like that. It's a cosmic cube. So if that's what it is, it totally explains everything that I saw in like in the trailers for this. But I could be totally wrong. But it looks very much like that. That's from like 2016. So
let me throw one really quick thing out though too. As we all know, it just needs to be said. Sometimes they put fake out shit in the trailer on purpose.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, what we've seen could be completely a 180 of what is actually going on. And they've been a little, besides the trailer, they've been a little hush-hush on a whole lot of details. So I think we just got to go in with no real expectations and see what the fuck this really is. And even whether it connects directly with, I guess, Winter Soldier or some other series that are coming out later. This could be its own kind of almost separate show that only loosely references things. I don't know.
Yeah, like that's kind of like. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say for sure. It's definitely House of M, because obviously you have a lot of characters and storylines that go on in House of M that haven't been introduced into the MCU officially and everything. And then, like you said, we've been faked out on trailers before, and then this is MCU putting their own sort of spin on it. All these separate stories, like with Loki and WandaVision and Winter Soldier, Falcon, if they're all supposed to tie in together, or if they are their own separate stories, So I mean, that's why I'm kind of just like trying to go in as blind and not have any sort of expectations going in, and I'll just take it as it comes and everything. And it just it just looks like, from my understanding, Wanda's sort of created some sort of world and everything for whatever reason, and then it starts to maybe kind of, the seams are starting to, I guess, come across, like, unravel, and I don't know why this world was created or what the ramifications are of it, but I'm glad we are finally able to see again her using her reality manipulation powers that we haven't seen since Age of Ultron, because they just had her being pretty much a strong telepath after Age of Ultron, and I was just like, yo, this is like a massive power set of hers. Is why she's an Omega level mutant, and we aren't touching upon that at all. So I'm glad to see where we're going into further her power set.
Well, I'm glad you kind of mentioned that, because in the comics, she's actually not a mutant anymore. And neither is Quicksilver. They're both not mutants.
Yep.
Well,
they had that whole with the
just humans again.
And all that stuff was going on with the X-Men and all that. Was that during that time where they kind of be like, yo, she's not a mutant at all, when they were kind of like cutting themselves off from the X-Men originally?
Sort of, yeah. It's like they're trying to say, it's also why you don't see him in, if you read the X-Men comics and all stuff, they're not on Krakoa. You don't see either of them on Krakoa. So it's interesting. They have like some cosmic ties instead of mutant ties. So I don't know if they had the cosmic ties instead of mutant ties, it would give the MCU more flexibility in the future. But if they do, I mean, it can set up, like, it could better set up the X-Men comics, but not, the X-Men movies, but it would not be a better setup for like the cosmic events that I think they're going to go towards, with especially like the Eternals and shit like that. So
I'm gonna just say this:
they're picking and choosing their.
I was just gonna quickly say, I mean, we saw them in Age of Ultron. We saw them, I think, a little bit in Civil War, and then in Infinity War. So we've seen them in some movies, but it's just been little tiny snippets, really, right? I mean, we haven't gotten. I think the longest session we got with them was probably Infinity War, right? With Wanda and Vision.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Wanda and Vision.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean,
yeah, I mean, in game.
They cut Vision so hard in the movies. Like, he's seriously like a very powerful being, even without an Infinity Stone. He's super powerful, and in the movies they don't do him any justice. Same thing with Scarlet Witch, except for in Endgame, like, she did a pretty good job. She could have basically killed Thanos at the end. But yeah, I mean, they need to do better with like their powerful, beings that are in these universes. I think they're still like kind of feeling their way through it. They're doing a good job so far, but they really need to show how powerful Vision is and Scarlet Witch is going forward in the show.
Yeah, and make them. It seems like make them the power couple of at least the TV series. Because they're starting it off with them. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, WandaVision is the first of the TV series wave of the Marvel universe, right?
Yep.
Cool. Did you guys see the announcement?
Huh?
What?
I was gonna say, have you guys seen an announcement about She-Hulk, and that we might get Jessica Jones from the from the Netflix series on there, as well as maybe Daredevil?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be a good tie-in. I mean, they're one's a lawyer, one's a private investigator. I mean, it's easy storyline to mesh in, that they know each other, or however you want to write her into the story or make a cameo. I mean, it would be really convenient. I think it'd be a good idea for them to put that in. I think I saw, like, Kevin Feige said that he was open to it, so I'll take him for his word at that, because I like to believe directors when they say shit. Unlike Prodigy, who believes that Deadpool won't be rated R, even though he said it's going to be rated R, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it here. I feel like there's going to be some shenanigans. I'm glad. Don't get me wrong. I love Deadpool. I loved both of those movies. The first one more than the second one, but I feel like there's probably going to be some shenanigans. And I'll believe it once it's advertised as R, like MPAA says it's R or whatever according to that. Okay, sure. Till then, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical.
You said you had feelings, though. Fuck your feelings.
Yeah,
You should probably believe it once it starts filming. That's probably like once you should understand, because I'm sure the director will know when it's being directed. Yeah, this is some violence that we're putting on tape. They don't need the
I'm gonna disagree.
That guy's head blowing up is gonna be an R.
I'm gonna disagree slightly, only because I think that there are some movies that are filmed that may have some a scene or two that could make it an R, and I think it's all about the editing for the final version of whether it's going to be an R or PG-13, right?
Well, yeah. And let me.
But we're talking. But this.
God damn, breaking up so bad.
Right?
ahead,
Nobody heard what you said, man. Say it again, Stitch. Still breaking up. Jesus Christ.
These Deadpool movies aren't like. Am I breaking up?
Yeah.
you have a problem.
Sorry, man.
Go ahead.
Well, let me just. All right. So it depends on when I guess Deadpool 3 comes out. If it comes out when we're still affected by COVID, then Prodigy might be right that it could be PG-13. But if you have multiple movies that are coming out before that, and there are multiple movies for Marvel that are coming out before that, and they become successful again, I think that they're going to do the rated R thing. Right now, I think that Marvel is worried about getting their revenue back from multiple sources. I mean, because they're owned by Disney, and let's be honest, we all know that Disneyland, Disney World is still shut down for the most part.
Not Disney World.
Disney World's not. Well, even still, nobody's fucking flying to go. Most people, if you're intelligent at all, you're not fucking flying to Florida for Disney World at this point in time. So their revenue has to be tanking, and that's a huge part of the revenue for Disney is their actual locations that they go to. The movies that they do are making a lot of revenue as well, but what they traditionally did. But right now they ain't making shit. We learned this from that's why they held off all their movies, like basically for like the longest time. Like, you notice how there's no fucking MCU movies that have come out since COVID. I mean, really, I can't think of even one. But
No, there's none.
Yeah, but Black Widow's already been made. Like, we know that shit. It's been done, but they're not going to drop it. But they also could go in the same route as Wonder Woman, because it's kind of the same sort of feel, where it's like, if you keep holding it back too long, eventually you got to drop it, and then you have to deal with consequences afterwards, whether or not the movie was strong or not. Which Wonder Woman definitely paid that price. Go ahead.
Eternals, I was just going to say, is probably in the can and finished editing as well. I believe it's basically ready.
Yeah, but I mean, they're smart to, at this point, especially right now, because I mean, COVID's still raging. We're having, we're basically having a 9/11 and a half every day for the past, few days. It just spiked again over 4,000 today, or yesterday anyway. And I get it, but the vaccines are on the way. People are already getting vaccinated right now, and you're going to see it getting more and more better. It's going to get, I think, mostly mitigated right around summer. And so if they hold off these movies until the summer, people are going to have more confidence going into the summer to seeing people again. And I think that's when we're going to start seeing, it could be like the most blockbuster filled summer of all fucking time could be this summer. If COVID drops down significantly, you're going to see movies making fucking damn near $1 trillion. Like, seriously. Like,
we probably will see, the roaring 20s for movies, for the movies. Like, people are just going to be going out, having a good fucking time, just watching a bunch of movies. So, I agree with Kronos. Once this COVID thing is over, we're going to see, hopefully, a big boom in movie ratings and numbers going out. But as long as people get their jobs back, we'll see that kind of figures.
You're going to see a spike in divorces as well and people cheating.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Real quickly, surprise announcement. I haven't even told you guys in the chat. Your boy may develop a I don't know, a tumor or superpowers, but I did get the vaccine yesterday.
Oh, nice. Because you're in
Yeah.
healthcare, even though you're
Yeah,
not going to the office,
so
but yeah, that's good.
yeah, so at least the first dosage. We will
Good,
we will
good.
see.
My brother got both of his doses, I think, already. So
Nice.
yeah, but I mean, he's a firefighter, so he got it a little while back. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, if you can get it, and let's get back to normal. You know, I think they opened up in California. Well, everywhere should be opened up right now, but California gave the okay. But anybody over the age of 65 is authorized to get the vaccine at this point. I'm
is
just
great.
waiting for, because this is the weird thing, is because K-Mac has had three open heart surgery, so she's at risk. So she's gonna be probably the next in line for the vaccine. But then it's like, well, I live in the same household as her, so do I get the vaccine as well, or like how the fuck is that gonna work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I have to wait, then I guess, but I just want to get fucking back to jiu-jitsu and to see
Yeah.
you guys again. You
Yeah,
know,
with the sweetness, like since she's worked in the medical field and she had the option to get the COVID vaccine, but since she's pregnant and there's not very much study on like pregnancy and the COVID vaccine, she
Yeah.
decided to turn it down. But I'm thinking like I should try to get the vaccine just because I would just bring the risk of her getting it down a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Prodigy, have you had any side effects? Because I had a coworker who had crazy side effects of because the vaccine makes you fatigue, and he said like he was basically working at his desk and just passed out on his laptop
was he
That's
just
not
drunk?
good at all.
a couple hours later, and didn't even realize that he fell asleep.
So, no real side effects besides some muscle soreness, and I was tired last night. I was really hoping that it would be just like my gas station dick pills, and like just have me really hard and ready to go. So far, none of that yet. But
That's
Rhino
terrible.
3000, Rhino 3000, guys,
Damn.
free
Wait.
plug.
You're gonna
Did you
give
keep-
yourself a heart attack taking them pills.
Did you have the shot before or after you were failing on all your platforming jumps in Ghost of Tsushima?
Oh
Damn,
my
how you gonna
God.
put me out on
Bro,
that?
watching
Like
this
this.
dude-
Your hand-eye coordination was all fucked up.
Stitch, watching this
Damn.
dude do basic platforming is fucking embarrassing. We were trying to show him how to
Hottie
double jump,
streamed it.
dude.
Hottie
No.
streamed it. It was hilarious. I went through. I must have got like 4 different drinks from my fridge waiting for this dude to fucking make it. He was like grappling this wall, and all he had to do was let go of the wall and grab onto the wall that was below it, and he failed a good 30-something times. It was like I just set my controller down. I was like, I might as well just charge my headset now. And he was just like, this game is broken. This blah blah blah. This must be a glitch.
You're broken, bro.
He's blaming everything.
I
Hottie
Bro,
streamed it. It's out there for people to see how bad he is at platform.
when Destiny came out, we're trying to show this motherfucker how to double jump for a solid 30 minutes.
Oh.
So
I'm like,
bad.
bro, you press the button and then the same button again. Like, this is not complicated. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you grew up playing fucking Mario and like
Yeah.
legit hard platformers. How are you so fucking inept at platforming?
Platformers are like my Achilles heel. I hate platforming shit. I never buy platformers. When they put it in stuff, it frustrates me. I don't do well. I get too nervous. The controls.
So what I don't understand.
When we
How
were in
did you
San
beat
Diego,
Uncharted?
We need a special counsel. Like I'm gonna put a motion for impeachment of his gamer card. And the
Yeah.
articles
Not a
that I'm
gamer.
going to present to our Congress is that 1, he doesn't have a PlayStation 5.
God damn.
2, he can't platform. Platforming is like the original. It's like saying like, yeah, I'm an accountant, but I don't know how to divide or multiply. Like, it doesn't fucking work like that. Like the Atari, the NES, like Sega Genesis, the majority of those games involve platforming. Like 70% of those games are platforming of some level, whether you're playing fucking Contra, Super Mario, or whatever. You gotta jump on different things and fucking progress your way through it. And you are now 40 or whatever, and you claim to be a gamer, you have a podcast, you claim to be an elite gaming echelon nerd, but yet you don't have this basic skill developed. I'm going to vote that we impeach your gamer card and tell you, A, either become better at platforming, or you get a PlayStation 5.
God
Well, I got more
evidence
evidence I'm gonna bring to the table. So when Prodigy and I were in San Diego for San Diego Comic Con, we had the opportunity. We actually played Tomb Raider. I think it was like the New Moon or something like that, before it came out. And like it was a simple little fucking demo. Basically, there's a scene where you like go past like this moving cart. You have to like jump onto a ledge, and then you like progress in the game. Prodigy only got like 2 minutes into the game and could not fucking figure out how to goddamn platform it. Like he's like, fuck this game, like this game is garbage. It's a goddamn like I made it to the fucking end of the demo. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be like this is fucking badass. Prodigy's like, nah man, this ain't my game. You heard that right?
Okay,
that bar we went to?
that is facts. That did happen. Look, I ain't got nothing for y'all. I'm pretty bad at platformers. Fuck
Damn.
y'all.
So I don't get. How did you beat Uncharted? That doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, here's
Half
the thing.
that game is
He
platforming.
had Logan play it.
It takes it takes a long fucking time. Like it takes I spend. That's why I don't Twitch it out. I'll spend like maybe 2 hours on trying to get to the certain next platform and try to hang on or whatever. Because I'm fine with dying over and over again, but it takes a long time.
God,
I don't
your son
Twitch
play.
that.
Your son was like, "Oh, I'll beat this for you, Daddy." You're like,
Yeah,
"Thank you, son."
So my 10-year-old does
I
talk shit
think
about me. He beat what was that Shovel Knight over and over again, and I'm terrible at platformers. And he's like, "Get good or get wrecked." Fucking wrecked.
Damn, your son's dismasculating you.
Yeah, man, it's fucking all bad.
You gotta be the man. You
know.
can't let your kids beat you at shit. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can do it, but you have to like. You know, what's funny is when my oldest daughter was here. I let her know like when she beat me at games, like I let her beat me. It's like every now and again I let you beat me, but usually I'm like I go hard for fucking paint. Like you got no fucking chance. Like I'll be an asshole. I'll pick terrible characters like fighting games, and then still beat her. But it's like this is not my A team. Like if you beat me playing as Zangief, if I'm Zangief, yeah, congrats. You know.
Man.
Hey Stitch, did you see the update to Among Us?
Oh, well, I saw that the airplane. Are you talking about the airplane levels coming?
No. So now there's a new sheriff in town basically. So like now one of the person in Among Us can be a sheriff, and basically what they can do is they can if they know who the imposter is, they can kill the imposter. But if they kill somebody who isn't an imposter, they end up dying themselves. So it's real fucking tricky because like if you kill an imposter in front of somebody who isn't an imposter, they might think that you're an imposter, so you might get fucking voted off. So it's like this whole new fucking crazy level that they added in this goddamn game.
Huh. So how do you know if you're the sheriff though? So at the beginning it'll tell you.
Yeah, when
the
game starts, it'll tell you that you're the sheriff, and then your name in the chat will be a golden color, whereas the imposters, their colors are red.
But does everyone else know I'm the sheriff?
No, so nobody else knows you're the sheriff, because you don't want the imposters to know you're a sheriff, because they can just fucking kill you.
But can somebody shoot the sheriff, but not the deputy?
I shot the sheriff.
Only the imposters can kill the sheriff.
That's a good joke if you know good music about Marley. I'm just saying.
All right, you seen Eddie Murphy stand up?
There you Stitch, I saw in the chat you were saying you guys just finished Soul, right?
Yeah, I the last like maybe quarter of the movie, I was doing stuff with the baby, so I didn't get a chance to watch all the details, but I was loving it. I got the gist of what was going on and everything. It was really cool. I really liked it. I guess there was some sort of maybe controversy with the movie or something. I don't know what that was.
Oh, I can explain it.
Okay, but I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. Jamie Foxx did a good job playing the main character, and yeah, it talks about like death and the afterlife and stuff. And I don't know if that's what people were maybe kind of like worrisome that we're
Oh boy, were you wrong.
talking about a kid.
No, that's
Okay.
not the
They're always
controversy
talking
at
about
all.
fucking death. Look at Coco.
Yeah, no,
Well,
it's
yeah, that's why I was oblivious to. I was like, what's going on here that I should be offended by or maybe worrisome about? But I loved it.
the actual problem is so fucking dumb. So the problem is that it was actually like a lot of black folks had with the movie. It is the fact that a white woman took over his body and was doing all these things, and I was like, okay, hold the fuck on. They explained this shit early in the movie when you first met 22. I think that's what her name was, right? 22.
Yeah, 22. Yeah.
Yeah, she said that basically she kept that voice because it was annoying, and so they explained that early in the movie. So it's not even like you latching on the fact that it was voiced by Tina Fey. You just latched on to the wrong thing. Second of all, yeah, that's really what it was. And it was so fucking. When I first read it, I was like, "Are you fucking dumb? Are you serious?" Second of all, like, you're totally ignoring that this movie actually showed a part of African American culture that most people in America, especially white folks, have no idea even existed. Like when they showed like the barbershop scene, like most people had no idea that existed, and the fact that this innocent, well, sort of innocent, like soul didn't understand what was going on, but they just latched on to it was a white voice, so it's bad. I'm just like, okay, so what if it was an Indian voice? Would you still have been mad? I mean, like for real, it's just so like it's so dumb.
I do think that's silly, really silly actually. I did see it. I don't think I liked it as much as you guys. I guess the thing that was weird for me was they didn't, to me, do a good job of I went in not knowing a little bit. I saw some trailers, but I didn't know Jamie Foxx was actually voiced like the main lead on this, or Tina Fey was even in it. And so I was like, how do you not kind of market those stars? But I liked the stuff where they're in the real world in New York. The ether world, for lack of a better phrase, that kind of dragged for me, and it seemed a little bit predictable. It looks like we lost Old Ninja. But I didn't despise it. It's not a terrible movie, but there's not a lot of action in here.
I like both things. I like the abstraction of like it reminded me sort of In and Out.
Yeah,
like the whole like abstraction thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, but I enjoyed that aspect of it. Like somebody else's idea of like what the afterlife would be like, and like dying but not wanting to like leave, you know, and then like going into like this weird abstraction layer of, you know, the afterlife, but being like a new soul. I like that somebody else's idea of like not being alive would be like, and I especially love the part where like they were talking about what was it like before you were born, and like nobody remembers, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. It's like the same thing like when you die, you don't remember it, so why would it matter? I thought they were interesting concepts, but you know, obviously we have different opinions. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll say this too. I definitely got the Inside Out feel for this movie, and Inside Out wasn't bad. It just wasn't my all-time favorite. Here's the real deal is this though. Like for me, when it comes to Pixar, Coco may have fucking ruined me. Like that movie changed my family's perspective on death. We put up an ofrenda. We're not Mexican. We put up an ofrenda every fucking year, like a legit one, and talk about the people in the pictures based on that movie. And it had me crying like a fucking newborn baby in the theater because it was so fucking powerful or whatever. Obviously, this wasn't that. And every Pixar movie is its own thing, but I just there were times for me where it was a little slow and a little bit plot-wise predictable. I was like, okay, this is what's coming next. But you know, I don't despise it either. I didn't fall in love with it.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest Pixar movie, but it wasn't like a terrible one. Like, yeah, I agree. There were certain points that were kind of slow, and it was like, oh, like it's getting kind of repetitive. But I don't know. The way they did things, like the animation, like the little storyline. Once, like, you know, 22 was like, you know, I like she started down herself. Like it made me think of like some old school like anime movies where like the character gets to. It made me think of what's that movie? The one with Robin Williams where they talk about death and him and his wife
Patch
go to
Adams?
purgatory. No, the one where they go into heaven and like what dreams may come. It made me think of that. Because when you're fucking dead, like some people get depressed and stuff like that. They basically become like these kind of like fucking monsters and stuff like that. Like it made me think of that scenario or that storyline.
Yeah, totally not a
I
not a
love the
bad
music
movie.
though. The music
Yeah.
was amazing. Like the whole jazz and like black culture thing was really really cool.
Yeah, like I said, I love the New York thing, and obviously knowing that Jamie Foxx is this mega talented, not only actor but singer, and he can play the piano. That aspect is kind of cool. You know what I mean? And the music teacher or whatever aspect of it. But the other thing that was kind of interesting to me was usually, not every time, but usually with a really good Pixar movie, I end up like kind of humming the tune, one of the songs afterwards, and this one,
Oh yeah.
it didn't do that for me. Like
Yeah, that's true.
I was singing out "Remember Me" after Coco, man. Like that shit had me fucking gone.
Well, even like with Mulan, like not Mulan, with Moana, you had the whole like you're welcome with the fucking
Yeah, thank you. Oh
yeah.
shit, man,
But
come on
I
now.
think another controversy for this movie was that like Disney movies are known for basically black characters having to be like transformed to something. Like they can't just be like a person. Like they're always like Princess and Frog. The girl becomes a frog. Fucking in this movie becomes a soul. What's the other movie where the black person becomes
Sebastian?
another other? What is it?
You talking about Sebastian being the crab or lobster or whatever?
Well, no, about black characters being transformed to something else.
Oh, transformed into it. Okay.
Yeah. I can't think of the scenarios, but I guess there's only been 2 fucking movies where there was white people as the lead, so.
Oh no, the pigeon one, the spy movie with Will.
Oh yeah,
Will
that's what
Smith.
the spy was Will Smith.
That wasn't
yeah,
Disney.
Transformers. Oh yeah, it was DreamWorks, I believe.
I definitely get you on that part. And again, I'm completely not shitting on it. It just didn't resonate and connect as much as I wanted to. I was actually looking forward to this one quite a bit. But Stitch, you get in here. I mean, you really liked it though, right? Tell us
No,
why.
I really like the artwork on it. I mean, I have not watched full on from beginning to end Moana or Coco, so those are definitely on my list. I've seen like bits and pieces, but I've never watched it from beginning to end, and I know I need to. I was just really digging like how everything was just drawn up, like the one dude, the accountant guy or whatever,
Terry.
like Terry. Yeah, I was cracking up laughing at that whole concept or whatever, and like he's like, well, I'll just check the files. So he pulls out the one file drawer, and he's going through
That was
everyone,
cool.
and then it just zooms out to like this massive fucking thing. I was like, this is hilarious or whatever.
Yeah.
So like the artwork of Terry, and then those other
Jerry.
the Jerrys or whatever. I was like, this is pretty hilarious. And then like I found myself like relating to the frustration that Jamie Foxx's character. And sorry, because it's just fresh. The names of the characters are I'm off on. But every time he kept trying to jump down into his body and he just kept coming back up, I was like, yeah, that's got to be frustrating as fuck or whatever. When he just kept like trying to just parachute back into his body, and they're like, nope. And he's like, well, I'll just grab one of these little fucking mini souls and I'll just go with it or whatever. It is like, nope. And then at the very end, and then the part where like the fucking not the Jerry, but the accountant, I just call him the accountant, but the accountant kills the wrong dude and everything, and he's like, oh shit, he's like, we don't have to tell anybody about
That shit was
this. You guys,
hilarious.
like, completely,
Yeah.
he's like shook. He's like, stop eating this processed food. He's like, that'll kill you or whatever. That was hilarious. And even the stuff about the hating ass dude in the barber shop saying like, oh, you ain't gonna be shit. You ain't doing no record with blah blah blah. You ain't got no gig and stuff. And then even the stuff about with the family and how he wanted to like better. I was like, there's a lot of like subtle messages that obviously all these Pixar Disney movies, they do have those messages. And I don't know if it's just like the parent gene in me now that's all fucking overly sensitive or whatever. But then like at the end when he's like he jumps back at the final jump when 22 is gonna live 22's own separate life, and they're like, "I'll go with you," and they're like holding hands. I was like, God, fucking parent gene is killing me. I feel some sort of way.
Oh, just start crying.
I'm like, I'm all choked up. I was like, this is so cute. I was like, get it? I was like, I'm just like, what's happening again?
I would say that had like a scene where like maybe he was like at a park and he sees like this little kid playing, and like the little kid comes over and it's like she just knows his name, calls him by his name, just like walks away. Like I think that'd have been cool to let him know like, okay, she made it to Earth and like this is what she is now. But then I think if they'd have done that, people would have been off the if the little kid had been white, people would have been fucking mad.
I'm still mad that they made it a racial thing about like that.
Yeah,
it's
dumb.
You're just looking for shit or whatever, and like I didn't even know it was Tina Fey, and I immediately picked up on it. He was like, "Oh, I could be this annoying voice, or I could talk like this, or whatever." I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." That explains it. Whatever. I wasn't like, "Yo, it's a white lady playing that voice." I'm offended. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's ridiculous. And I it's not even on the docket, but there was something about there was an actor that was mad about, I guess, non-gay characters playing gay characters. I forget which one it was and everything. I might have to look it up real quick. And they I guess were hinting that we want more people who are actually this sexual preference in real life to portray these sexual preferences on film. And I'm just like, and I'm kind of talking out of pocket because this is not my fight to get involved with, because whatever. But I mean, if it's a good actor, it's a good actor. At least that's how I perceive it. I mean, obviously with us being black, it's different than an internal preference of if, like, let's say I were playing an atheist on film or whatever, I need that role to be played by an atheist. Like, do you really? Or whatever. Like, if they're telling the story and they're doing a great job of telling the story, and I believe that for those 2 hours that person is an atheist, or they are transgender, or they are gay, lesbian, bi, queer, whatever, I'm fine with it. I don't really care what's going on at their house down in Malibu, other than what's going on in this 2-hour film. And I'll have to look to see what actor it was. I thought it was like a pretty prominent one, but I was like, I just don't like where we're going with that.
Yeah, let me put it in a different way. If people that think like that, it's like, okay, so first of all, you have to remember how many people out there in America or even throughout the world that are out there as a gay person. All right, it's a very small percentage. Think about what other small percentage would actually want to act. Think about the even smaller percentage that would actually be a fucking good actor. So I think those are things that people don't think about. They just think, oh, well, you know, there's gay people, so they can all act. No, the fuck they can't, because I can't fucking act. Like, you know, it's like, come on. Like, most people can't act for shit. So please stop it with, you know, I wish that, you know, this person would play, you know, in an ideal world, we could all act and, you know, play pretend fucking forever. But we can't, for whatever reason. You know, either we can't read the lines right, or, you know, we're shy, or whatever. It's like, not everybody can act. So please stop demanding that you need a role played by a certain, you know, that exact, you know, type of person, because it's just like, it's pretty much impossible to happen. It's like when a while back, shit, what was the guy's name? W. Campbell. He had somebody on who made some really valid arguments about having disabled people playing disabled roles, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, that'd be good, but I mean, can they act? Like, that's the thing. It's like, if your whole thing is that, well, I'm disabled, but it's like, but can you act? Like, I need you. Like, if somebody needs you to act a certain way, can you do that? And if you can't, then don't get mad that you don't get the role, because they want you to act in a certain manner. And yeah, it's playing pretend. And if you can't play pretend in this certain manner, then, you know, you're gonna break the whole like fantasy thing that we're all participating in. So
and to kind of piggyback off of that real quick. So like the percentage of actors and actresses that are in Hollywood that are gay, that are good actors, like if they constantly get cast for these roles,
They're
What if it was like a
typecasted.
situation with like Hector, the guy who plays Hector in every fucking gangster Mexican movie? We'll just see the same gay person in every movie being that same fucking gay person, basically. And that just kind of draws out the movie. But Hector does a really good job, though.
I like Hector. The only thing I will say is, and I don't know, I don't have the percentages, I don't have the fucking numbers, I don't have the data to support this at all, but I was always told, from people that a lot of Hollywood actors, like a disproportionate number, are gay or lesbian. Like there seems to be, I don't think it's representative of the population at whole. I think there's a lot of theatrical actors that happen to be gay or whatever. Now, that's not going to fit in for every fucking role. I get that completely. But I thought it was kind of skewed in terms of Hollywood being, not mostly, but a good portion
of
gay.
good. So I disagree on both points. Like, well, just on your main point. Most actors and actresses that I've seen they're not gay. Like, and if they are gay, then they're in the closet. I mean, seriously, think about name your top 5 good actors. Are any of them gay?
Kevin Spacey, I would say, is in there.
Kevin Spacey. You might want to retract that.
Is a good actor. I don't have to.
The guy's kind of
I think he's a good actor.
Okay, so
That was the first name that came to my book.
but Kevin Spacey also did a lot of fucked up shit. So maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe bring up somebody that's not a piece of shit.
I'm only talking about I'm only just talking about their acting. But
Okay.
I mean,
Well, just the acting. Yeah, he's a good actor, but he has some baggage there.
yeah, of course. Again, I don't have hard numbers on this. It's just what I've been loosely told. We'd have to talk to some people who are really in the industry. I don't know who's in the closet. I don't know who isn't. Obviously, the casting director and the director are going to be really the ones making the fucking decision there. But we will. I don't know. I will say this. I saw, what was it, with Heath Ledger and what's his name, Brokeback, and I don't think either one of them was gay or bi or whatever. And to me, they did a convincing job of playing gay cowboys.
Yeah, and
Right?
there's also gay actors that play straight roles where you don't see the reverse thing happening. Where they're like, well, why are they playing straight roles? These are other issues that I have. With that whole thing.
Sure.
It's like if you're a good actor, you're a good actor, but they want to like do this like weird thing where like you're not playing pretend. Like your whole fucking role is playing pretend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
how convincing you are is your actual fucking art. So if you're straight and you convince me that you're gay in a movie, you did a fucking good job. Or vice versa. If you're gay and you play a straight role, then yeah, you did a great job. It's like, but that's what people just, we live in a fucking weird place, man.
You know what's a good example? Like Sacha Baron Cohen in Ricky Bobby plays a gay race car driver. He's a married guy, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know, who knows what goes on behind the closed scenes, but I'm pretty sure he was a straight actor playing a gay role for that movie, and it was a comedy, but he did a great fucking job. And I don't think that movie would have gotten made without Sacha Baron Cohen and Will Ferrell in it. Go ahead.
If these people that are playing these gay LGBTQ roles are just missing the mark and doing things offensive, then I would understand that. But I haven't heard that pushback in terms of like them saying like, actor blah 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 didn't know what they were doing. This is actually offensive to people that are LGBTQ and they're portraying it on TV. You just don't understand. But I haven't heard that, and I mean, if I'm missing it, and I'm missing it, but just in general, I haven't heard any sort of outcry. I'm hearing the echo. I can't talk when I get my echo.
I was saying the one time I thought a movie I watched that was offensive to a lot of people was in Tu Bong Fu, where Wesley Snipes and not Ted Danson, but what's his name? They both play like cross dressers.
Yeah, that's a little different though. But yeah. Hold on, I want to hear Stitch's like whole thought process on that because I missed the very beginning. So go ahead and say that again.
I was saying, if I was hearing people from that community saying that, yeah, the people that are straight are misconstruing us on film and they're doing a bad job representing us and they just don't get it, then I would understand where they are coming from and saying, like, we need people who are actually LGBTQ to play these roles. But I have not heard that in general in terms of like saying like, oh, this person did something offensive or they just don't get it or they're making fun of us when they're trying to portray these roles that are on film LGBTQ. But I haven't heard that myself. So that's why I'm just like, am I missing something or is it just like,
yeah, so not. Let me give you
I don't get it.
My thoughts on that. So probably not today. In the past, yeah. I mean, there definitely has been some like super, fucked up portrayals of people that were not straight in the media, in movies and TV shows, whatever. But I'll give you a really good example. So P.D. Wong, who I know is gay, he has played many straight roles. I don't give a fuck. He's also played a trans person. He's not trans. Nobody gave a fuck. You know what I mean? It's like if you can play pretend well enough, nobody really should care because they're pretend roles. There's other examples as well, but I'm bringing it up because I was thinking of Mr. Robot because I was like he played a trans character, and he's also gay, and he's also in fucking Oz as a straight character. So he's played a myriad of roles, being both straight, gay, and trans. And they were convincing enough, but that's what acting is, and so people just need to chill the fuck out when it comes to pretend shit, Like I understand, like it's not like they're fucking wearing blackface or some shit like that, They're just Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that B.D. Wong is a great example because we've talked about him on the show. He's been nominated for Golden Eggplants. He's knocked it out of the fucking park.
Yeah.
But there's some other examples I just thought of too.
He's fucking 60 years old. Jesus Christ, he looks great for fucking 60. Yeah.
No way.
He's 60 years old.
I thought he was in his 30s.
No, well, I knew he wasn't in his 30s, but yeah. I thought it was maybe in his like 40s or maybe 50s, but he looks fucking fantastic for fucking 60.
Yeah, he's taking
that's
great
like
care of
that's Ming that's the male Ming Na Wen.
Yeah, exactly. Some examples for you. Doogie Howser is out and whatnot in that How I Met Your Mother show. He certainly plays a straight guy.
He was not a straight guy. He was a fucking male whore.
Oh, of course.
He was a male whore in that show. Yeah.
No complaints. He did it well.
Even in Harold Kumar, he was that fucking lady getter.
Exactly. He was macking on him. And then you got the guy on Big Bang Theory, Sheldon, who was he was even in the astronaut black astronaut girl math movie. Yeah.
Hidden Figures. Black astronaut girl movie.
My bad.
Is that how you said? Is that really what you said there? Black astronaut girl movie is Hidden Figures. All right, none of them were astronauts, by the way, audience. None of them were astronauts.
The math,
but they were. Was it Michael Williams?
But they were definitely mathematicians.
There were astronauts on there. But...
No. So, the person from Black is the New Orange.
What the fuck did you say? Jesus Christ. Black is the New Orange.
Should we stop drinking? If you're drinking right now, please stop. I'm drinking. Maybe I'll stop too.
I was looking at some stuff about Trump and I just threw me all fucking off. But yeah, I mean,
that was great.
Black. Well, I don't watch the show, so I don't fucking know. But you got that one black lady who used to be a man, and she also did she also did the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And even was it Michael Williams, the guy from who played Omar in The Wire, and then from Boardwalk Empire. And
Lovecraft.
Lovecraft. I have no idea if he's gay, and I have no idea if he's straight in real life, because it doesn't matter to me. But when he's playing the role of being gay on TV, perfect. We just saw him on Lovecraft. I believe that he's gay when I'm watching it. It's just like, I don't believe that he's not gay because he's just a shitty actor. Like, I don't care. I don't care what these people do in their personal life as long as it's legal and they're not breaking the law or hurting anybody. I don't care if they're whatever however they want to identify. They're an amazing fucking actor, and I would be honored if they were portraying me or somebody of my background or gender preference.
Who started this whole thing? I thought you were going to look it up, Skip, in terms of the.
I'd have to Google it on my phone or whatever.
Okay.
But it was something with James Corbin and stuff, and people were saying like, oh, we have these straight people portraying actors that aren't actually whatever, and we want representation and blah blah blah, and I like I said, I don't want to shit on that feeling and make it sound like what they don't have a reason to feel that way, because I don't want to diminish their claims, because I just might just be blind to it. But if I am, somebody reach out to me and let me know and give me some examples or whatever, because I think the examples that I've seen on TV as of late, Kronos did a great job of saying like, yeah, back in the day in the 80s and 90s, yeah, it was just some fucked up acting, and they were just making all gay people to just see overly neon, flamboyant, gay and everything. We understand not all gay people are like that, and just like with all black people, every black person you see isn't somebody on a Tyler Perry film being loud and obnoxious or whatever, and sucking their teeth and rolling their neck at everything that gets said.
I can't roll my neck because I have a bad neck injury. I'm just saying. Anyway, so let's get. Oh, sorry, Prodigy. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, let's get into like what happened today and over the past week, because we had significant issues. We tried to start off the podcast positive, and now I think that we need to go into like actual real current events, because we're living in fucking hell. We're 13 days into 2021, and 2021 so far is fucking terrible. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had an insurrection last week that we talked about, at length. That was basically half our fucking podcast, for a 3-hour fucking podcast to talk about a single subject for half of it. And on this one,
some people are saying that we're still in 2020. We're just on December 43 right now.
Yeah, basically, this is the
2020.
It's the worst sequel ever. But yeah, I mean, we're getting more and more details out of what happened last week with the attempted insurrection, and it's fucking terrible. I did another podcast with my boy Dan after we talked about what we talked about last week, just to make sure like all the words that I used were correct. Because he's an active Marine and he's a poli-sci major, political science major. And just to make sure that all the words I was using, like by calling them fucking, an insurrection, a coup, fucking terrorists, because these are all applicable things that happened last week in America. Yep. And yeah, I mean, he verified. I looked it up too, just because I don't like putting out misinformation to anybody. And if I do, like, I'll definitely tell you afterwards, like, hey, what I said whatever week was not correct. But yeah, he verified that the words I was using were correct, because yeah, this was like, it was bullshit. And the things that happened last week, the more and more data that I'm getting out of this, it's more and more insidious the more and more I look into it. It wasn't just that these, terrorists attempted an insurrection. They had a lot of help with this insurrection. And the more and more I'm reading into this, the worse it gets. It's, the fact that, like, I saw on video the day that it happened, I was like, why are they all just walking in? Like, seriously, like, why are these people just letting them in? Like, they are armed, and nobody shot anybody. Like, one person, I think it was just like, it was only a couple people got shot. But it's just like, listen, if I had a firearm on me, and there's a mob coming at me, I'm shooting until the fucking clip is done, till the magazine is done. And then if I have another one on me, another magazine, guess what? More rounds coming down your way, to protect at least my life. To say nothing of the people's lives that I'm literally paid to protect. And what I saw last week was people that were paid to protect the people that were in Congress. They just let them in. And there was no backup, nothing like that. And there's, the data that I've gotten so far was that the National Guard was requested multiple times, and there was declined multiple times. And the National Guard was already even supposed to be on fucking call. They were already supposed to be there, and they weren't there. So it's like, what the fuck has happened in all this shit? So Prodigy, you were trying to say something. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just really quickly, and everybody I know wants to get in here. Two things. Number one, you have got to Kronos release those episodes because you keep talking about it, and I want to hear it.
Well, there's 4 now. There's 4 now, and I think hold on, I'll give you some slight hope. All right, so we're probably gonna release them soon because I think we're just gonna do them like we're gonna do a seasonal thing. We're just gonna release seasons.
Release the Kronos cut.
Yeah. So basically, so there's no pressure. So like we have 4 in the bank, and so we'll release them, and then make sure we get like a certain number out, and then take like a month off, and then start recording more. But yeah, we need to get especially the one that we did like last week. We need to get it out soon.
Yeah,
Windows like perfect releasing now.
Yeah.
We want that content. Secondly, really importantly, and I know everybody else is going to jump in, but the details that I heard from a positive standpoint about this officer Eugene Goodman,
That's what,
who had the baton, leading people away from the Senate, this mob away from the Senate, putting his life on the line. Got to give him props. He's definitely a fucking hero, at least from the way it's being reported after the event.
I mean,
so I just wanted to add that.
You want to call him baton though?
I mean, the guy you're talking about, he is a hero, but I'm like, why wasn't using? He used like no force. You know, that's like, and I hate to say it, but I've been on guard, multiple times in my life as a Marine. It's just like, if somebody's charging my fucking place that I'm supposed to protect, I'm gonna use force. Like, I'm authorized to do so, and they're literally infiltrating a space that I'm protecting. I don't understand
that. I'm a black man. If I shoot these white folks, I'm gonna get
that's not even. I don't give a fuck.
The law.
No, that should not even come into your mind. It doesn't matter like what they look like. If they're infiltrating into a spot that you're protecting, you are authorized to use force, and you're protecting literally you're protecting the most important thing in America, which is the way that our government actually fucking operates. And it's one of the most important things anyway, as far as like America goes. I don't understand why there wasn't more force used, even though that Eugene, when he led them away, yeah, I mean that was great, that was excellent, but I just don't understand why Eugene was even in that spot to begin with, and why, second of all, why he didn't draw a firearm and start like defending himself. It's like there's a mob of people coming at you. I don't, and you know me, like I've said it multiple times on this podcast, like I'm not for violence sake. I'm really not. But when it comes to like what I'm getting, when it comes to first of all, my personal safety, that comes first. My family's like my family safety and my personal safety comes first. All right. Second of all, like if I was in his position, if I was getting paid to protect somebody, then their protection comes first, because that's what they're paying me to do, is protect those people. And the fact that like multiple layers of security didn't do their job was highly fucking suspect to me. Highly suspect.
A lot of failures. Go ahead. Get in here, everybody else.
Well, I just watched the video clip, and like when people did start storming the Capitol, like he put his hand on his handgun, and it looks like he's doing it in a threatening manner, but then he pulls back, and then that's when he pulls out his billy club or his bar or something.
No, I fucking used. I would have used it. Like I don't understand.
Well, let's just get it. Go ahead.
Message.
It's really, and it's. Let me figure out where to start with this. Capitol Police is this weird entity, and for me, even saying this, it sort of undermines their entire role. But it's almost like university police. And the reason why I say that is their jurisdiction are over those monuments and direct areas of Washington D.C., whether it's like the Lincoln Monument, the Capitol Building, areas around the White House, and probably like that property. So they have set areas of jurisdiction. So I don't know what is defined by their powers exactly. It's almost the only way I could compare it to would be maybe like campus police, where they are actual police officers. They have all their arrest authorities, authorized to use deadly force and everything, just like they would. Um, the only slight pushback to that, however, from my understanding though, they're 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 not the Secret Service or whatever. So the Secret Service is its own separate thing where they are the ones that are in job entitled or not entitled, but entrusted to protect like the president, vice president, first lady, first family, and everything. So when it comes to like their primary role is to protect sort of that person, like sort of bodyguard esque role, where it's like the Capitol Police is in charge of that land. Now, I didn't know that the Capitol Police was that large of a department. They have something like I think I read like close to like 1,500 officers, which was something I had no idea about. I have a friend that actually works for them. So I sent him a message. I was like, yo, I just got to ask you a couple questions. I was like, because I know y'all are busy as fuck. So I was like, how many officers you got? Blah 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 blah. And I mean, anyone that can see it. They were undermanned, and the people that were in the leadership role set them up to fail. I mean, those officers that were put, you're like, yeah, you have that post, and a lot of stuff like I can blame the officers for, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't want to be like y'all completely fucked up on, because it's like, all right, they should have been staffed or whatever. They obviously were highly understaffed, and based on reports that are coming out, they were staffed like it was a regular fucking Wednesday and everything. Like nothing else was going on. They didn't have people there on like mandatory overtime, etc. That you would see at like a parade. Like you go to like New Orleans Mardi Gras, there's no you have off work day. It's mandatory you're here, you're supposed to be working. And based on all the stuff I'm seeing about like New York police, FBI were telling the Capitol Police like, yo, you have something that's about to happen here. Y'all need to be prepared. We have reports of this X, Y, and Z is supposed to happen. We're letting you know. And whoever is in charge of their staffing, I mean, we saw the chief resign, but he's supposed to put those officers in a better position to be successful, and that was a failure on leadership on that aspect.
Hold on.
There were also.
I actually don't think that it was 100. I think that he resigned. I have other things to say too, but I think that he resigned kind of prematurely, because I don't think that the problem was necessarily on him. I think the problem was on the national, like however they were supposed to deploy the National Guard, because the National Guard should have been there. They really should have.
Yes. I don't. We'll find out who got phone calls and who didn't, who received memos and who didn't respond to memos. Because, like I said last week, I'm still waiting on a press conference or whatever, and we have not gotten any sort of press conference.
Yes, they have.
From the leadership.
You got to watch. They've had press conferences today.
From the Capitol Police.
Yeah.
Or.
I didn't watch the whole thing yet. Yeah.
Okay, because the one I saw was from the I guess it was the Maryland State Police, where he explained that he was trying to get authorization to go there, and he got turned down.
That was the governor. Yeah.
By he got turned down by this person, and he was waiting a call from somebody from the Army, and it was just like a big fucking, who's in charge? Are you in charge? Well, I'm not in charge, or whatever, and it was a big clusterfuck in terms of like getting the National Guard over there. That's its own separate thing. I'm just talking about the Capitol Police itself. Like, if you know something is supposed to go down in your city, you are supposed to be staffed. And if you're not staffed in itself, that's on the chief, the lieutenant, the whoever it is that is in charge of staffing. I mean, you have a parade going down the street or whatever. You can't have your normal 12 officers on duty. You need to have people working mandatory to work that special detail. And I mean, it's just everybody that turned it on the TV and saw it from the jump. They're like, "Yo, there's hundreds of people out there, and I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 12 people there."
Thousands.
Well, yeah, but hundreds of and I can count if I can count the number of officers I see out there that is supposed to be the line or whatever, the skirmish line, protecting people from invading the building, that's a problem.
Yeah,
And
so
that aspect I put on leadership from the Capitol Police.
let me clear up a certain thing. All right, so I'm going to read to you the U.S. Capitol Police, their mission statement that is on. This is from the House of Representatives. If you go to the House.gov, and this is the U.S. Capitol Police, their actual mission statement is since 1928, the U.S. Capitol Police, USCP, has provided protection for Congress. Over time, the force has grown in numbers, duties, and responsibilities. The USCP officers work to protect life, property, prevent, detect, and investigate criminal acts, and enforce traffic regulations throughout a large complex of congressional buildings, parks, and thoroughfares. Additionally, the USCP officers are responsible for protecting members and officers of Congress and their families. USCP serves throughout the U.S. and its territories and possessions. So right there, this is what they're supposed to protect: members of Congress. So when you have a fucking terrorist mob attacking Congress and the Capitol building, this is where Congress meets, all of Congress meets, they're not, protecting it to any, they're not showing any force. They are failing at this. These are obvious failures.
I mean, the thing is, that guy that's walking up the steps that we see Goodman encounter, where he pulls out his baton and everything, you can't kill him.
Yes,
he's not a.
Yes, he can. He's
unarmed.
It doesn't matter. He's protecting the property and the people. Listen, if a black man can get killed for doing nothing in America, then at least a guy can take a shot from a fucking baton or have some sort of force showing after trespassing and screaming, "Hang Mike Pence" outside the building.
Well, let him get it. Let him get it.
We can't. You can only assess that situation that is right in front of you and everything.
Yeah.
And obviously we know there's a different situation than that guy that got dragged out the front and was getting beat. That's a completely different situation where I think I would hate to be in that situation where I would have to rescue one of my brothers or whatever and use deadly force to get him back. But yeah, his life is at risk. If somebody is walking up some stairs and you've said you can't. You're defending property at this point. You can't take somebody's life when you're defending property.
It's not. It's not just property. It's also members of Congress, which is what they're protecting. And you also cannot. No, stop. Hold on, real quick. If you storm the White House and the president's in there, what would you expect to happen?
But he made that clarification though about Secret Service versus the Capitol Police. I think
the Capitol. It's in their mission statement.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say though is the situation he's specifically describing is with Eugene in the hallway.
Yeah. Eugene in the hallway would have been authorized to use at least some sort of force, if not lethal force.
That's a big jump between some force and him pulling out his baton or his pepper spray or his taser. That is a big difference than him pulling out his firearm and discharging his firearm on somebody who is walking up his steps unarmed and he's not showing any signs of aggression. He's just walking up some steps. For me to pull out my firearm and to discharge it on that dude, I don't know there are a lot of people around that place, thousands of people saying some crazy shit. But the one that I encountered walking up those steps, he did not say, "Get out of my way. I am going to kill that person." I don't even know if that guy said anything. He's walking up the steps and he's not listening to my
This is
command.
hilarious.
If I can't, should he not go hands on with him if it's one guy?
It wasn't just one guy. There was multiple people. He was just the guy in front. There was a mob behind him.
That's true.
Behind him.
Okay.
That's true.
He was just the first guy in front of him. I would have used some sort of force to get him just back. Obviously, I would have used steps. Like if I would have probably kicked him. Yeah, I would have used some sort of force to get him to start going up the stairs because you knew that you're protecting. Your job, your mission statement is to protect the people in Congress. Yeah. And so I would use some sort of force, and that would have escalated. Listen, if I was a Marine, which I am a Marine, when I was at an embassy, and if somebody would have just stormed the embassy, they would all got fucking shot.
there's a huge difference between your intermediate levels of forces and your deadly force. I mean, we've seen that. I mean, we had the
none of that
incident
was used
in
though.
Georgia.
None of that was used though.
What's that?
There was no force used at all.
If I remember correctly, I thought he pulled out his baton and it slipped.
That's
or
not
whatever. I have to watch the video.
That's not force though.
I mean,
If his baton just slipped out of his hand, then I don't want to comment on that. He pulled his baton out, yes, but there was literally no force used, and not even just him. I don't want to just specify on that guy, because obviously he used some fucking brain power and led them away from where Congress actually was.
He was successful.
But there was others that did literally nothing. Like, I literally watched a police officer getting fucking crushed.
Yep.
Probably did you watch the same video, because I shared it and I know you watched it. It is very hard to watch. Nobody was getting shot. There was no deterrence. There was no gas, no fucking bean bags, no rubber bullets, no nothing. And I'm watching a man get crushed, screaming for his life, getting crushed, and there was no force being used.
That was extremely hard to watch. I you know me, I'm a sick motherfucker that watches some of everything. Some stuff not even appropriate.
Yeah.
But that one where he's don't say nothing, old ninja.
I didn't say nothing, but.
But I tell you what, when he's getting crushed and screaming for his life, I'm just like, God damn it, I got to turn this shit off.
Yeah, and he can't move, and people are ripping off his gas mask, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, you literally, and you know what's crazy to me is that motherfuckers were literally carrying on the Blue Lives Matter flag, crushing this dude, crushing this guy.
The one that got me is where it's another shot where the officer is pulled out and dragged down some stairs and then just bludgeoned.
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah,
one of them bludgeoned with a flag as well. Like, I think it was an American flag or something. But everybody in that vicinity is just
that's an angry
basically a murderer.
Yeah, but I don't.
You
go ahead.
This is the thing.
I mean, that's a nightmare scenario.
No,
that's a nightmare.
I'm not gonna mince words. If this was a crowd of brown people that did the same thing, there would have been shots fired. Multiple shots fired. There probably would have been I mean, I don't understand why the fuck they didn't at least at minimum defend themselves. It's fucking insane to me.
I want to take it one step further. If it was the crowd of brown people, the National Guard would have been deployed on the first call.
No. So, Ninja, maybe they would have, but the thing is that they actually tried to call the National Guard multiple times. Maybe if they were brown, it would have been different. But
on this mob, but if there's a mob of brown and black people, National Guard would have been there.
Well, I mean, honestly, Ninja, you're probably not wrong, because if you look at the summer of last year. What was the response last year? How many fucking beanbag shots and fucking rubber bullet shots and, all this other crazy shit that happened last year? This is only just last year. It's fucking 6 months ago. That we saw the response that we had against a crowd asking for equal rights in America. Meanwhile, we have people that are believing in fucking bullshit, nonsense conspiracy theories about how some guy thought that he won the election when he clearly did not. They did multiple they actually went through and hand recounted multiple times in these states, and they don't want to fucking understand that all the research has been done. The guy fucking lost, and they still want to go up there and be angry because this dude fucking lost.
I feel like that people are saying that Biden have won like 75 times already because of all the rogue recounts.
He did.
My biggest thing that I can't get over, it keeps going on repeat in my head, when they show the mob talking about where's Pence, and they
hang Mike Pence.
Yeah, I was just going to say that they want to hang / lynch him, and again, this is a mob instigated by Pence's boss, direct boss, on the ticket as well, Trump, trying to get the VP assassinated or killed like Mussolini, basically, by a mob of Americans, terrorist Americans. But I can't get over that. That is the wildest shit I've ever fucking heard of, and everybody seems to kind of downplay that or act like no big deal or didn't happen. No, that's on tape.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's recorded, but it's also when we talk about this, like just to be extremely clear, when they said hang Mike Pence, they literally built fucking gallows with a noose outside the Capitol building. They built it on site. There's pictures of it every fucking where. So don't be like, oh, they were just bullshit. No, they fucking built it.
Yes. And what's crazy is that like the U.S. Representative wanted Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment, and he checked it out. Said no. It's like, dude, your boss literally wanted you to fucking die. He tweeted out calling you a punk ass bitch for not fucking standing up for America and this and that, and yet you still fucking, you're like a little dog with your tail between your legs. Like, okay, whatever. After your master didn't fucking beat you, you're just sitting with your tail between your legs. Just, I'll do better.
That's powerful cuckoldry.
Yeah.
It's really as hubris that if this were happening in any other country, we would be like, yo.
You would have sent guys like me in.
The United Nations would be fucking sent in. People would be from other countries would be like, yo, they need help over there. Even if this was like happening in like, let's say Canada, like a neighbor to ours or whatever that we're cool with, we would be like, yo, this is a problem. They are in turmoil and they need immediate help. And it's been the best thing I've been noticing is like if I watch like BBC news, like no Fox News, CNN or whatever, if I go to like international news and watch how they're showing it, it's really eye-opening because they are not sugarcoating it how a lot of the U.S. agencies are. But to go back to what you said about the guy being dragged out, that's a complete horrible nightmare scenario. And like I was talking with Lilo, and I'm like, and I've said before, I was like, the main objective is to make sure I make it home at night or whatever. That I go home, kiss my wife, kiss my baby or whatever. And if I'm seeing one of my boys, it could be one of you guys, 15 feet in front of me getting dragged out or whatever and getting fucking damn near torn apart from limb to limb, I know I'm putting myself in a fucked up situation and I'm probably gonna get killed or whatever going to rescue you, but I have to or whatever. And it's just I can't imagine like the stress of being in that situation. And I don't think it was that guy that ended up getting killed or whatever.
No, I don't think so either.
I've seen all kinds of random videos and stuff like that, but I can't imagine that nightmare scenario. But
I know that the five people that died was that one was the woman who was the Air Force lady. Another one was the officer that got hit in the head with a fire extinguisher, and then the other three people died from like medical complications.
Yeah,
Well,
let me go to those legal things real quick. Normally your use of force for like a general police department, and like that's why I categorize Capitol Police more so than Secret Service, because Capitol Police does pretty much everything a regular police department does, except its territory is limited to those like monuments or whatever. But every department that I know of outside of like Secret Service, because their roles are different, you're authorized to use deadly force when your life is in imminent danger, someone else's life is in imminent danger, or if there's a risk of great bodily injury, an imminent risk. And the key word is imminent, like it's going to happen right now. It's not like, oh, something might happen 20 minutes later. That's when you are authorized to use deadly force. It's the same thing that we crucify the police officers for in other agencies. You have to hold the Capitol Police to a different standard. Now, the Secret Service is something completely different, and I don't know what their operation works are. That's why I don't know who it was, if it was Capitol Police or Secret Service that shot that lady that went through the window, because that's something completely different, because you are at the final line of defense. You have a barricaded door. Someone is breaking through a window with a backpack on, and you know what's going on. Like it is there. You have cabinets and all kinds of shit, and they coming through. And if that person is Secret Service and the vice president or whatever was in that room, I don't know how long ago it was that he left, or if he's in the other room, you are completely authorized to fire, and it doesn't matter if I see a weapon or not, because that person's role is completely different being a Secret Service agent than an actual Capitol Police or a DC Metro cop or whatever the fuck it is.
I don't want to belittle anything, but that new Rainbow Six game better have one of these. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's all bad.
Too soon. Way too soon. Way too soon.
You know. Am I not smooth in those games? Do I not know how to about shit?
Stitch can clear corners quite well and reach in siege, and I love rolling with you. We got to get back into that goddamn game
And
really
your
quickly.
Ass can jump, Prodigy.
Yeah, if there's platforming, you know I'm useless.
Real quick, I just want to point out we didn't talk about some of the police officers that were involved. There's been a couple suicides.
Yeah.
So some of them literally shot themselves in the face. I've heard there's been more than one, but so far I know that there's been one confirmed.
Hold on.
I don't want to say the person shot.
Yeah.
Let's rewind.
Yeah.
We don't know if somebody shot themselves in the face. There was an officer that committed suicide.
Yeah, I was gonna say some are under investigation, and we're going to be really careful with that. I hear what you're saying, Old Ninja. Sometimes news reports will do a correction or retraction later. I don't know if it's official in terms of suicide or not. But real quick, I got to rewind it a little bit because I hate the people who take issue with how come you got to use the other N word for some of these people with calling people Nazis. God damn it. When you wear Nazi propaganda, I know we said it last week, but when you wear literally Nazi pro-Auschwitz propaganda, not every single person, but the ones who did, and the people around them who had no problem with someone being in Nazi gear around them. Fuck you. You can't get the moral high ground when you're either okay with Nazis or being a Nazi.
Well, even like having somebody with the Confederate flag like next to you, like the girl who got shot, she was from San Diego, and it's like, yeah, like how are you cool with like all these people carrying the Confederate flag when that was like
active Air Force? Wasn't she active Air Force? You have
a
lot of like
Air Force. Yes,
active military, current military, and some cases retired military that are involved with this shit. I'm just like what oath were you taking? Like, what were you doing when you had your right hand on the Bible and everything? Or I can't even remember right now if it's right hand or on the Bible or whatever. But what are you doing when you were taking the oath? Like, what did you fucking forget? And I saw something about like the chief joints of staff from all these military services had to put out a reminder, like, these people are fucking kids. Like, hey, remember that oath you took or whatever? Yeah, don't betray the government. Like, why these adults need the reminder that, yo, don't overthrow the government. That's bad kitty. Like, I'm mind blown. Like, why are these people being treated like kids? And even when they're caught doing shit, you had the guy, he was an Air Force retired lieutenant colonel or some shit, and he's got zip ties, and then he tries to be like, oh, well, I found the zip ties and handcuffs on the ground, so I was just carrying them or whatever. Like, this is just some dumb shit. Like the drugs were just in my pocket.
Hold on, sorry. I just sat down. Sorry, my dog peed on my bed. Apparently. So it'll take a second. But you're talking about the zip ties with the thing.
Yeah,
so
we're talking about these people just make it just with no, and well,
the ones that are being arrested.
Before that, the people that were retired military that took this oath to protect the Constitution and the government, and that are just like, oh no, fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever, and then I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm a patriot or whatever, like I was saying, the retired guy with the zip ties and shit and handcuffs, and then giving this bullshit story that, oh, I found him on the ground. And
hey, Ben Shapiro says that he knows a bunch of people that got zip ties. He says anybody could have got zip ties. He doesn't.
I got zip ties.
No, okay. So two things. So to Stitch's point, all those military members that were involved in that shit, you're fucking traitors too. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You took an oath to protect the Constitution, and obviously you decided that some former billionaire convinced you to go against your oath of honor. So fuck you. You're no longer my brother or my sister. You're a fucking piece of shit traitor. Go fuck yourself. Second of all, I don't like how we keep calling these fucking things zip ties. They're not fucking zip ties. They're flex cuffs. They're not fucking zip ties. All right, so stop. I don't know why the media latched onto this shit. They're not, like, when you say zip ties, people are thinking some shit that you fucking cinch together your fucking, like some hoses with. It's not that. These are purpose-built handcuffs that are disposable. They're called flex cuffs. So, I mean, Stitch, you know that, right? I mean...
Yeah. I just the general term or whatever. But yeah, zip ties are like those little tiny things that you like would like control like your cables for your TV. You're like, I'll get a zip tie and put my HDMI cables together. Those are flex cuffs that are like an inch to a half inch thick. Yeah, that you're not going to just be able to Incredible Hulk out of like a regular zip tie.
Well, and they're in a pattern, so it's like they're already like almost zipped for you. And then when you put somebody's hands in there, you zip them in. It's like way easier. Like they're not just zip ties. They look like sort of zip ties, but they're not. They're called fucking flex cuffs.
Yeah, we just got to be very, very honest here. And I appreciate the clarification on the flex cuffs. I'm going to call them the right thing from now on.
Yeah, I never knew they went by that name either.
But let's be fucking honest, man. You got those. You broke into a building. You got those in a supposed secure location with Congress people there. You are not innocent for shit. You're not going. You don't have any excuse or reason to have those or be where you are. And so, I don't want to hear any bullshit about how a lot of people have not flex. A lot of people have zip ties or whatever on their HDMI, and I just found them. Fuck you. No, none of those excuses are gonna work at all, man. You know you shouldn't have been there. You know you broke in. You know you were part of a riotous mob. Charges are flying out with a whole bunch of these people as they keep rounding them up. You're part of this traitorous mob. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to be charged federally up the fucking Yahoo.
You know what's really sad too is that like with all the FBI investigation going on, like a lot of the people who stormed the Capitol building, like they're police officers from other cities and towns and stuff like that fucking participate in this too. It's like you fucking should have known better. Like you're a public defender. Like you should. Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, so it's not even just the police members. It was also military members, like former military members. Yeah. So this is what makes me disgusted. But like, I'm a Marine. Everybody knows that shit. It's just like seeing my own military members like participate in this sort of fucking nonsense. It's fucking disgusting. Like you listen. The traditional punishment for treason is death.
Yep.
So I think that most people kind of forget about that. Sedition, pretty sure it's the same thing. Insurrection, definitely the same thing. It's death. Like they put you to death for this sort of shit. And I think people were just way too flippant. Obviously, I don't expect anybody to get put to death for this. Nor would I advocate for that. I don't think that you should be put to death, but you need to fucking spend some time in jail and to figure out like what the fuck you just did. And also, I mean, if we go back to the time to where, insurrection and treason did mean death, if you go back to those days, guess what? Donald Trump will be fucking killed. He would have been killed for insurrection and inciting insurrection. And that's not even something that is really debatable. They would have killed him for what he did back in the day.
I'm agreeing with you on Donald Trump, though. I will say this. The folks involved in the murder of Capital City Police, I'm all in favor of some death penalty bullshit for them. And there are quite a few people with literal blood on their hands for killing cops. So
that whole group of people, and like I said, I don't know if it was the guy that got dragged out, and I've seen another video of a fire extinguisher being tossed on the person.
Yeah.
all those people in that general area, they can get charged and should be charged with murder. It's the same thing we talked about, where it's like, if we all plan and conspire to rob a bank, and I'm the getaway driver, and Prodigy just goes ham and starts shooting all the tellers inside, I can get charged with murder as well, and I should be. I mean, that's it's on the books and it's law. So just because you aren't, if for whatever reason, let's say we were all in the mob and Old Ninja is just punching the cop or whatever, and Kronos throws the fire extinguisher and whatever, and Blue has the flagpole or whatever. If at the end of, if at the end of all those results that officer dies, it doesn't matter who delivered the final blow. Murder for you, murder for you, murder for you, murder for you.
For your family.
All of them can get charged legally and should be charged legally. So I mean, I'm completely fine with it. I mean, it's always talked about, the fire extinguisher guy or whatever like that. The people that dragged him out into that mob and everything and were hitting him with flagpoles, they are just as responsible for the murder of that officer as the person that was punching, hitting him with the flagpole and all that shit.
And
all of this. Oh, go ahead.
Well, let me bring up something else that, up until maybe a year or so ago, I don't like a lot of our criminal justice system, but in this certain situation, I think that people need to be held accountable because they have that mob mentality. And when I talk about the mob mentality, I'm going to tell you what I saw as a black man in America. All right, what I saw that people just totally fucking ignored. I think most of America to this day they're just going to totally fucking ignore when they talk about, they shouldn't all get charged for this. I saw the Confederate flag being flown. I saw people with extremely white supremacist shirts and paraphernalia on. I saw the Camp Auschwitz thing going, somebody wearing that shit. And you know what I didn't see? Not a fucking... Hold on. I didn't see a single fucking person in that entire mob say anything to those people. Not a single fucking person. They didn't say, hey, don't wear that shit. Don't bring that fucking flag here. Don't, you can't do that kind of... Let's not talk about hanging a fucking sitting vice president. None of them said shit. None of them said shit. They were all okay with it. And so when people try to bring up, Black Lives Matter did this, and that, motherfucker, do you think if somebody wore a Camp Auschwitz fucking sweater to a fucking Black Lives Matter movement fucking protest, you think nobody would say anything to them? You don't think they get their ass kicked or kicked the fuck out of that fucking group? You're out of your fucking mind. These people, they were all okay with this super racist, white supremacist fucking bullshit in America. And this is a huge problem with America, is that people want to ignore that we have a serious problem with white supremacy in America. And I think it's time for America to wake the fuck up. America should have woken up fucking last year over this shit, but they still haven't woken up. This should be another fucking calling card of like, hey, we have deep-rooted problems here in America with white supremacy. Twitter said last week that we have an algorithm that can find and eliminate all of the white supremacists and Nazis from fucking Twitter. But we can't do it because too many fucking people in Congress will get swept up. Do you know what that means to every single person in America? That's what it if you're a minority in America, is that you have people that are writing laws in America that a computer knows is a white supremacist, and that Twitter won't turn the fucking switch on because it could get them out of their fucking... Because it would highlight them. How do you think minorities feel in America? If you're a minority or a Jewish person, because you're a minority too in America, how the fuck does that make you feel that Twitter is too afraid to turn the switch on to highlight the racist fucking white supremacists in America? And at the same time, these stupid ass white supremacists will say that, Twitter shut down Parler because of my First Amendment rights. Fuck you. You're a fucking racist piece of shit. It's like, why shouldn't you be highlighted to call you out of what you are? You believe in your beliefs. It needs to be highlighted on what you believe in. You believe in white supremacy, and you don't want to deal with those consequences. And apparently neither does Twitter, but Twitter's getting it from both sides because today they shut down. I think it was like 70,000 plus QAnon people, but people got mad. But at the same time, they're not going to get mad. Twitter's too hesitant to call out all the white supremacists because it's fucking way more. It's way more than 70,000 people.
That's important. Go ahead.
Well,
go
on
ahead.
top of what you were saying, when Twitter started canceling the fucking accounts, there was a bunch of U.S. Senates and
Senators,
House Representatives that started fucking crying about, like, oh, my Twitter, I lost 50,000 Twitter followers because of this and that. And it's like, dude, like, these fucking people were, like, the reason why shit fucking happened on fucking Wednesday. Like, you just stop fucking crying about your goddamn Twitter followers and just realize the people who are following you now are real fucking legit people who want to hear what you gotta say, and like they back what you fucking do and say. So
Yeah.
fuck this crying.
Go ahead,
Let me oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Aldrich.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Did y'all touch on Parler a little bit?
I did a
Or
second
no.
ago,
Or
but
no?
yeah.
So
Not
did y'all
relevant.
see that Amazon responded with their Amazon Web Service? The shit that they found on Parler, like they literally found credible threats, and they posted it to the response to Parler's CEO saying, "This is why we shut down your service because of this, and we reported this, but nothing happened." There's literally lines that give a date. They literally say January 6th. This is gonna happen. We're gonna do this, and they literally call out representatives. What some of them are Stacey Abrams. Like they literally call for her death in gruesome fashion, and this was Amazon's response saying we had to take this down because this is inciting violence, hatred, racism.
I can read verbatim. Hold on, I can read verbatim exactly one of them. And
Wait, before you get that, Chronos, can you explain what Parler is so people know? 'Cause
Yeah.
like for me, the first time I ever heard of Parler was probably fucking today.
So people were getting very angry with Facebook and Twitter, especially that because they were getting shut down for the racist fucking and other bullshit. That they would
Their
get,
First Amendment rights.
Yeah, but the First Amendment does not apply to. We'll go over that in a minute. All right, first of all, but people were getting angry because they were getting shut down and suspended on Twitter and Facebook because they would say things that were inflammatory, and so they were like, you know what, we need to have another social media platform. So here comes Parler, which I kept calling Parlay, but I guess it's Parler. Whatever, doesn't matter to me because now it's shut down. So basically, it was a social media platform where they had zero to no moderation, where you could say basically whatever you wanted. But people don't seem to understand the way that the First Amendment works. The First Amendment does not protect you from any kind of speech, from every kind of speech. There are very specific laws against what you can and cannot say in America that the First Amendment does not cover you for. And there was some real vile shit that has been said. A lot of the stuff that happened last week was set up on Parler. So go ahead, Ninja, whatever you want to say, go ahead, and then I'll read to you something that was said on Parler.
Oh no, you already just because I was going to answer what Blue was asking about Parler, and you already described it. So
okay, so I will give you just one single thing that was said on Parler, and this was from obviously they didn't delete it, at least not in time, because it was up for a while, and hopefully YouTube, hopefully this does not demonetize this, because I'm saying this as a quote, and this is not my beliefs. Obviously, I think the person that said this is a piece of shit, but I'm going to read it word for word right now, okay? Word for word.
Disclaimer.
The way to do it is to teach commie Marxist libs, Democrats, a lesson is butcher their children, grandkids, great-grandkids, grandmas, aunts, nieces, wives, last. Skin them all, slowly in front of the commie men. Maybe it starts in one city, then another and another. Only then will the commie traitors realize they fucked up when they see their own lineage stop in front of their eyes. The sweet music of commie women shrieking in agony, in pain, only drowned by gargling in their own blood. That was on Parler, all right? And that was just one thing that was posted on there of many of atrocious shit. This is what happens when you don't moderate stuff that's on your own platform. You know, like you can't have people talk like these. This is obvious. This is the most obvious thing of hate speech that I can think of.
That's
You know, like this
deep.
hate speech covers this. The First Amendment does not cover hate speech. It doesn't cover pedophilia. It doesn't cover a whole myriad of things.
Yep.
Violence, inciting violence, all this other shit. People think that the First Amendment is a blanket statement, a blanket amendment that covers any kind of speech. It fucking doesn't. If you want to... Here, I'll give you a bet. All right? From Cronus. I'll pay you $50 right now. I'll pay you $50 if you go into an airport and scream out, "I have a bomb," and if you don't get arrested, and then tell them, just print out the First Amendment first. Print out the First Amendment. Tell them you have a bomb in front of the TSA, and then see if you don't get arrested, and then read to them the First Amendment, and see if it covers you. It fucking doesn't, because you're inciting violence, and you're basically it's a mob. Like it's panic. That's what would happen. So the First Amendment is not a blanket fucking amendment for you to say whatever you want. Just like I can't go into your house and talk about like saying vile acts against like your children, and and if you were to do violence upon me, I can't claim the First Amendment covers me claiming violence on your children. It doesn't, obviously, right? It should be obvious.
Yeah.
All these social media, and it's embarrassing that these people just don't understand like basic level like middle school civics in terms of like how the government and how these amendments work and everything. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, they are not government-run entities.
Yes.
And everything. And Zuckerberg is not busting in your door and throwing you in jail. And he's not punishing you. He's not putting you in the gulag. That is a huge fucking part in understanding that people with any sort of level of legit education, not just I have a piece of paper that says I have an education, but actual understands what it is that they actually learned. They understand that, yeah, that is what determines when the government gets involved and determines that what your freedom of so-called speech. Go ahead, Prodigy, before I finish. I see you about to say something.
Zuck did ring my doorbell yesterday and he tried to punch me in the fucking face, and I didn't appreciate it. He told me it was all about the one Fuda from last Friday, and I told him, look, man, you got the wrong house.
No, he
Oh,
didn't.
sorry.
And you know what?
Can
He
I-
was justified for trying to punch you in the fucking
I
face.
feel like, hold on, I'm gonna read the First Amendment so everybody can understand. It's not that fucking long. It's like barely a paragraph. So people don't understand, because people don't seem to understand what the First Amendment is. This is literally what it says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble or to petition the government for a redress of grievances. It has to do with the government, not private companies.
One more time for the people in the back. What was the very first word of what you said?
Congress.
one more
Yeah,
time.
Congress. Not
Okay.
Mark
All
Zuckerberg,
right.
not any fucking private company. It's talking about the government. So yeah, if the government, if you talk some shit on Facebook and the government ran in and was like, nah, fuck that, I'm gonna fine you or fucking throw you in jail, yeah, you'd have some grievances. But they're not doing that. Facebook jail is not literal jail, you fucking morons.
Tell
All
that
right?
to Prodigy.
Well,
Yeah.
I did a lot of things
It's
for that Debbie snack cake, though, while I was in Facebook
Yeah.
jail. And I learned the harmonica.
Well, but
So-
even then, even what Stitch said when I said Congress, even then it's still limited. It's still limited. When I say
Yeah.
when I say Congress will pass no law to whatever the fuck, it still does not cover inciting violence or hate speech or any like a whole myriad of things. There's like 9 categories that the First Amendment does not cover at all. Like
That
what is it? It's libel and slander. It doesn't cover that shit at all. Like, you know,
defamation, yeah.
yeah, those are all the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny how
that's why I wanted to make
Pornstar
sure.
had mentioned how, you know, on Twitter she's able to show her snatch and her ass and stuff like that, but Twitter doesn't like hate speech.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody hates that.
The biggest
It-
irony,
it-
though, the biggest irony for me with all of this, and this is a wonderful discussion, but this is all for a goddamn lie. Like, This isn't some Braveheart movie bullshit where you're just like, I'm defending the freedom of Scotland. Shout out to Dirty Stew from the Brits or whatever. This is all based on a free and fair election that this motherfucker lost, and people being angry about a free and fair election and lies being told for months.
Well, and
It's not even for a good reason.
well,
You get a golf clap from me when you went from Facebook and Twitter for doing something they should have done a while ago. Like,
yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, this is the fucking bonfire burning and somebody running up to it with a fucking cat spray bottle saying, we need to put this fire out. Like, this goes back, and I mean, when I cited yesterday, going back to people legitimately saying Obama wasn't born in the United States. That's where I feel, and it could have probably gone on a little bit before that, but that's something I feel like I can bookmark and put a pin in and be like, this is where this began. And I have no problem like debating and talking to people just that have a fundamental different belief than I do, but we have to understand the facts at hand. Like if we are having a debate on like unemployment or whatever, and us trying to be like, why is there so much unemployment and blah, blah, blah. And if you are saying, I don't know what you're talking about, there is nobody that is unemployed right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There are X number of people that are unemployed, and we can't get to that baseline level of understanding the facts that we are going to debate the cause and effect of why this is the problem. We can't have a discussion. And these people that are so embedded in this full-blown lie that this election was rigged, that it was fraudulent voting, they can't be reasoned with because they refuse to, and they're just so deep into the lie that has just been spun up, and this cake that has been baked by the president and people like Ted Cruz and Josh Hawley and all these other idiot, I don't want to label them all Republicans, but notable Republicans in separate states saying that this is bullshit, believe us. And they're just completely willfully ignoring actual factual evidence and the truth. It's like they can't be fucking rescued, and you can't talk to them because you can't even agree with them on the basic level of things. It's like a flat earth thing. I can't debate you on the concept of like the earth being round or even like gravity if you think that fucking the moon is made of cheese. Like if we don't have a base level understanding of how things work and we can progress and go from there, there's no ground zero with these people if they're just like, nah, moon's made of cheese, man. You'll fall off the earth if you sail too far. Like I can't, no. Like it's been proven in 60 something courts this was a fair election, and small golf clap kudos to those Republicans and stuff that flipped at the last minute when the car was about to go off the cliff and everything.
Fucking jumped out.
Small golf clap for doing what you should have done fucking months ago. But it's too late. That they're already attached to the trailer hitch going off that cliff.
Well, I'll make 2 points. First of all, like to what you just said, is that they were hoping to tap into that voting base. But the problem is the voting base they're trying to tap into, they're fucking crazy as shit. They're crazy as fuck, and they're so easily like moved that it's ridiculous. The second thing is that I saw people that were interviewed. I think it was today or yesterday. People in Texas that were being interviewed when Donald Trump, no longer a president as far as I'm concerned. He's not a president. He's a fucking traitor. All right. He went to Texas. I think it was today or yesterday to do a thing at the wall that he thought was complete, which it wasn't complete because I can see in the fucking video that he was literally filming in that part of it was not done yet. Any fucking way. People that they were interviewing were like, oh yeah, well, you know, people are not looking at the evidence as far as like the election goes. Listen, in Georgia alone, they did a hand recount 3 fucking times. 3 times. 3 times. All right? Literally, people are like counting things by hand. And there was little to no variance and not enough to overturn anything, you know, in the state of Georgia. And in Georgia, the governor there, he's a Republican. He voted for Trump. He voted for Trump. And he cannot say that, Trump won because he knows that facts are facts. You lost. You lost by a decent margin. The state flipped, and that's just the way things are. Like, I don't understand why people are trying to lie about it. It's like, I don't fucking get it.
So
it was interesting watching the Republican Party when they were doing the voting for the impeachment, and they all went up and gave their basically a little speech. How many Republicans, even the shit fucking happened in your own goddamn house, and evidence is there that Trump kind of riled these people up to do this. They're like, we've tried to impeach him before, and that was nonsense, and the one guy started to refer to celebrities who were bashing Trump from the beginning, from when he first became president. I'm like, dude, this guy literally fucking had a mob come to your goddamn house and wanted to fucking basically kill all of you so that he can still remain president, and you're still gonna fucking cockroach that motherfucker? Come on, bro.
They just wanted this. This is how insidious power is. This is why I've always said if you want to be in power, people that should be in power are people that don't want it.
It's a good point.
That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way it always should be. The president, we shouldn't even have a president. I've said it for fucking years now. We should have a council. Fuck the president. We don't need a president anymore. It's the fucking stupidest shit ever. How we have one fucking head monkey, especially now when we have the executive branch in America that has so much more power than both the judicial and the legislative. There's way too much power in this one person, and it needs to stop. And I think that there needs to be either there's going to be a reckoning in America, or we're going to go the way as Rome. We're gonna fade into history, and we're gonna be a fallen nation, and it's already starting because we already see right now. If you ask the rest of the world their opinion of America right now, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" You used to be the leader in the world, and now you're not because of one fucking guy. One fucking guy has destroyed our credibility in the entire world. What the fuck?
I mean,
that's the one good thing that Trump, not good thing, but one thing that Trump has done is to let people see how fucked up our government system is, and how, we talk about police reform and this and that, but our whole government system needs to be looked over again and be like, okay, this shit isn't working for the modern times.
Yeah, get in there, old man. Get in there,
I
old man.
actually seen it was a news broadcast. And what they had done is they had cut footage from the treasonous raid, and it was images. It was scenes I hadn't seen because there was way more people than I thought I was in DC. There was thousands of people there, and there was a way bigger mob outside the doors that I thought. That mixed with the Daily Show, because one of the correspondents for the Daily Show, he was there, and there was just so many people that from them breaking in, it just looked like maybe, don't get me wrong, it did look like a mob, but it only looked like maybe 30 people on one entrance, another 15. There was thousands of people there. There was probably a good 100 people trying to break a barrier that had maybe 3 Capitol Police there, and then these images are being cut together and shown to the rest of the world. And I saw a European video. They showed this to them, and there's all these people from around the world commenting "Oh my God, look what happened! Look how far America has fallen due to one man. I feel so bad for the people. How can one man do this? Does he not listen to the people?" Other people "Oh, we saw these results. They were published. He lost. What's going on over there?" There are people who feel sorry for America's people. There are people who are aghast on what they saw at our Capitol building, and there are people who have basically lost confidence on our world leadership because we're we're now a TV series on a streaming service now, and everyone's like, this current episode of America is just is amazing, but it's sad at the same time because you're seeing greatness be belittled, beaten, and just dragged to the mud. And weirdly by their own hand. So it's
Yep.
just the world is watching us just literally tear ourselves apart.
That's what I was saying about like it's really good to turn to BBC and see how it is that they are covering this whole entire thing because they are not centralized here or whatever. It's sort of from like an outside view from a different country looking at us or whatever, saying like, "Yo, what's going on over there?" They're not
Wait,
trying to sugarcoat any.
what is Shane Diesel? Why would he be caring about this?
Oh
You know
God,
his name. How do you know his name? You should know his name.
He said BBC. I went to the first.
You say Lex Steele? None of that.
See,
Shame.
the interesting thing, and I had a sort of change of opinion within like maybe the last like 8 hours of this. Is like he's been impeached. I would love in a perfect dream world that they voted to kick him out of office in the next whatever with the Senate vote, have him lose his rights to $1 million fucking travel budget, his pension, and his Secret Service detail that is given to former presidents. Like, I want him to lose all of that shit. But then I heard something interesting on, like, I guess one of the BBC channels or whatever on, like, Sirius Radio is like, it's almost, if you are, let's say, a hardcore Democrat,
I hear it
almost,
echo.
yeah, the echo is fucking me up again. So if you are a hardcore Democrat, it's like he's going to be gone in 7 days, and he will no longer be a national problem. He will be a Republican problem because he's now going to go back to the the minor leagues, and he's going to, that tumor is going to fester in the Republican Party, and that is something that they're going to have to deal with and fight over if they're going to support him, throw him back up in 2024, and he's going to cause them problems. And he's not going to be the general American problem. He's only going to be a Republican problem. However, if you convict him, then that no longer becomes a problem, and that sort of helps Republicans in a way because he can't run again. And I think if he tries to run again, then they, as the Republicans, have to deal with the stress of, like, are we actually going to get behind this dude again? We have to deal with his son, his daughter. There's a shit ton of people that love and support him, but can we really go through with this bullshit again? It's like, all right, do we let that grenade blow off over here, or do we self-detonate the grenade and render it useless right now in the general public? And I was just like, wow, that's a really good way to think of it.
Yeah, I mean, no. Sorry to interrupt. It is a good way to think of it. They need to think about it of who, when you think of, if you're elected official and you think about your constituents, it's like, who do you want to be your constituents? Is it going to be a mob of people that are willing to attempt to overthrow our voted in government because they could believe a lie? I would say hopefully fucking not. If I was a Republican, and I've voted Republican more than a few times in my lifetime, but if I was a lifelong Republican, I'd be fucking disgusted by my own constituents that are going along with this lie, because there are obvious lies. They have been refuted multiple times on TV and in other places, but people just, they don't want to look at it. You know, they don't want to understand that the reality is that this person lost. But the problem is not even really Donald Trump. All right. The problem is that in America, God damn it. This is why I don't like getting in this fucking region. And every time I get in this region, I have to fucking have a disclaimer. I'm gonna say these statements, but it's not for all white people, or Caucasians, or European Americans, or however the fuck you want to put it. All right, is that there's people out there that are terrified of being at the bottom. All right, they're terrified of it. If you're in the middle class and you're fucking white and you're used to your life, and all of a sudden some person has convinced you that some folks from Mexico they're gonna steal your job. Unless you're a fucking farmer or working at McDonald's, you're probably fucking fine. All right, but somebody's convinced you that these brown people are gonna steal your way of life, and you're going to be at the bottom. What you're actually terrified of is that the people that are going to become the majority are going to treat you like white folks have treated minorities historically in America. That's what you're terrified of. But instead of actually trying to reconcile those thoughts, you fight it. You're going to fight it tooth and bone for a fucking guy that was totally full of shit, a person that has never in his life been at the bottom. He was literally born with a golden spoon in his mouth, with millions of dollars in his bank account the day he was born, and he's convincing you that has worked, that has clawed your way up in your life to get to where you are, that he knows what's best for you. When this motherfucker doesn't know about balancing a checkbook. He doesn't know about single moms. He doesn't know about any of the things that you've went through in your entire fucking life. But he convinced you that he knows what's best for you. And he has cheated America. He's cheated through his taxes. He's had plenty of foreign money. Meanwhile, he convinced you that China is bad and Russia is bad. Meanwhile, he builds fucking buildings in both of those countries, and Saudi Arabia and the Middle East and all these other fucking countries. He takes money from all of them, but he convinced you, because you're poor in America and you have a certain skin tone, that because he kind of looks like you, that he knows better than you. He fucking doesn't. He never knew about you. He doesn't give a fuck about you. The only reason why he gives a fuck about you is because you might vote for him. That's the only reason. And look at what's happening now with this fucking dumbass. Look at how many companies and banks and fucking cities that are revoking his contracts, that are not going to renew his fucking his banking loan extensions, that are revoking all these things. But you still want to believe in this guy. Don't follow this stupid ass motherfucker off a cliff. Don't follow him. Just look at his historical to like all his businesses. He's had probably 15 failed businesses. The reason why he had 15 failed businesses, 2 reasons. The first one is because his daddy gave him money. That's the first major one. The second one is that he's cheated America because he claimed bankruptcy. And guess what happened with those bankruptcies? Those came from our tax dollars. Me and you that are paying our tax dollars have excused his fucking mistakes. But you're going to ignore that because he told you that fucking some dude from Mexico is going to take your fucking job.
Yeah. And I just piggyback really, really quickly because we do got to wrap this up, but especially to the evangelical folks, this is about as far from any type of Christian values you could possibly get, not only with the divorces and the cheating and the porn stars and all of that, but there are credible rape allegations, multiple of them against this man. And so I'm not saying he's been convicted of them. I'm not saying they've gone to trial and been proven yet, but...
Hold on, but you can say that he settled.
Yeah, he settled a bunch of them, and there's plenty. As soon as on January 21st, a whole bunch of them are going to flood in as well. More of them are going to flood in. So he's both morally bankrupt and financially bankrupt in a lot of ways, or soon to be.
He's going to be, yeah.
Unfortunately,
before we wrap up, can we talk about Bison Boy and his... So the guy who was in the Capitol that was wearing the bison outfit, how he was arrested by the FBI, and the dude hasn't been eaten correctly, and his mama came and was like, hey, my little boy needs to eat organic food or he's gonna fucking suffer and he's gonna have fucking stomach pain and shit like that, and the motherfucker's getting organic food now in the goddamn prison system. Like, what kind of white privilege shit is this? Like, this is so fucking dumb.
Yeah, there are plenty of brown and even white people that are poor in America that eat moldy food in jail, get raped in jail, they have to deal with way worse fucking situations in jail or in prison, however how the fuck you want to put it. They're in the carceral system, and this fucking clown for some reason gets to get organic food, even though he's Did they even give the guy bail? Did they even give him a bail amount?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
Can he post bail? If he can't post bail, like why the fuck are you even giving this dude concessions when we saw what he did, and all of a sudden, like, when people wonder why brown people in America are so fucking angry, it's because look at this fucking dude. He gets to eat organic food. Meanwhile, people in that are in normal jail in America are eating fucking moldy food and living in fucking squalor. And this dude, for some reason, gets to eat organic. Fuck his organic food. You know what happens normally in fucking prison? If you decide not to eat, they fucking force feed you,
Peanut butter and ass sandwich.
or you eat nothing. Yeah.
I was about to say, I thought they just don't let you, like, you
No,
don't want to eat.
We're
We're not going to feed you.
No,
then.
there's times where they'll literally force feed you. Like they'll put a fucking feeding tube down you. So
Damn.
and that shit happens. And this guy, for some reason, I want organic food. Fuck your organic food. Like most of motherfucker people that are fucking free in America that have committed no goddamn crime cannot afford organic food. So fuck you and your organic food.
There are certain children who can't afford food at all that
Yep.
are
Real.
American.
Yeah, people are
The poverty
starving.
rate is going up.
People are starving. Like people are. How much is the fucking homeless rate gone up since COVID? Or it's just historically. But meanwhile, this motherfucker gets to eat organic food on our dime, America, on our dime. This is not him paying for this. This is America paying for this, for fucking organic food for somebody that stormed the Capitol building.
Over a lie.
Terrorist.
Over a lie. Over a lie. Let's wrap it up, guys. Though, because you know we could go on. Let's keep the roundup real quick and simple. Blue, what you got?
We're still waiting for little baby Blue to show up. We are week 31, so we're almost there. We got a couple time more to go. Huh?
Is it single digit weeks?
Yeah, we're in the single digits now, but it's a home stretch. But again, we're waiting for little baby Blue to show up. I done a little home improvement around the house. We installed the wardrobe system, organizing in our master bedroom closet. We have like a little closet set up for baby Blue. I beat fucking big Sackboy's Big Adventure. It's a really good game, but then like there's the plus, like the new game, not new game plus, but like there's like the harder levels, and they're fucking ridiculously hard, but they're so much fucking fun to play. Like just the whole challenge of it all was really cool. Probably won't be able to do this at all because they're all fucking platform jumping. So
Fucking y'all coming for my neck tonight.
I wonder if Prodigy can actually jump in real life. I've never seen him jump in real life, so maybe he can.
Damn.
Your zombie apocalypse skills are in question also.
I just gotta get those shoes from the '90s, the catapults or the pumps. I'll be
Oh, the
fine.
moon shoes? You need to get the moon shoes, a little bouncy trampoline thingy, but they didn't work out all either. No, you need LA Gears, there you go. But yeah, other than that, just chilling and just waiting for time to pass. And hold on, I might get. I'm signed up for a list to be able to get notified when I can get the coronavirus shot because since Sweden is pregnant, we talked about that earlier, but yeah, that's it for me.
Old Ninja, what you got?
So, for me, it's nothing near as epic for waiting for New Life to come out, but I'm basically.
You can check off
I
the
didn't get
New Life, according to Christians.
I didn't get a chance to talk about Star Wars High Republic, really, but I'm halfway through the book. I'm enjoying it a lot more than Alphabet Squadron. I'm really excited I'm really curious about WandaVision, so I'm gonna try to check it out this weekend. Hopefully, we all get a chance to watch it so we can talk about it next week if we even get to it.
We're getting nuked next week, bro.
Gonna be rating on some Ghost of Tsushima Legends. Hopefully, Prodigy can get his jump game right. Probably not. That's kind of asking for too much, but
Damn.
we'll see how the raid thing goes. We're getting some people raid ready. Stitch is already there. We're trying to help some of his homies. I got another friend. He needs a little bit more to get to raid readiness, so we're going to try to do that. Be on the lookout. Try to look for us on there. It'll be probably streamed. It's going to be very interesting to hear our frustrations that we try to beat this is gonna be good. Yeah, that's kind of about it. Just trying to see WandaVision and game and do this raid. It's kind of about it.
Cronus, what you got?
I am hoping that America will live up to our responsibilities and become a better country after all this is done. I mean, listen, in 7 days, we got President Biden being sworn in. I hope that nothing bad happens to him, but also I don't have high hopes for him as a president because I didn't vote for the guy. I don't think he's a great dude, but for the sake of America, I hope he does a better job. Like, we need to, we as a country, we need him to do a better job for America. This wasn't like when, even though I didn't vote for, President Obama, and I didn't like him for his policy. As a person, he was a decent dude, and I'll always say that. But I feel like the stakes are so much higher so like when President Obama was done, and we got Trump, I was like, okay, America's doing okay right now. Let's keep it going. Right now, America's going fucking down the shitter. Like, seriously. And I say that without reservation, or this is with no malice, or I'm not joking. Like, right now, America is fucked up. And I don't have a lot of faith in Joe Biden or even Kamala Harris. But holy shit, prove me wrong. Step up to the plate, hit a fucking home run, make America the way that we should be. We should, we need to be the leaders of the world again. We need to lead ourselves. There's a lot of shit that we need to fix in America, and I hope that they are going to wake up and actually do the real work to fix America, because America needs to be fixed. And it's not with fucking bullshit slogans. It's not with fucking platitudes. It's not with partisan tactics. We all need to come together and don't bullshit us on this. If Joe Biden and Kamala Harris pull some fucking switcheroo and start doing some bullshit, I'm gonna fucking burn you on this podcast way worse than fucking Donald Trump. Way worse. Because the stakes are way higher. Like, I think that Donald Trump had a relatively medium bar, and he fucking fucked that shit all up. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have a way lower bar. And if you fuck this up, fuck all of you. So let's fucking put your grown-up pants on, fix the problems that we have in America, or at least get the fucking ball rolling. That's all I'm asking for. Get the fucking ball rolling. Please don't continue to destroy the country that I love, because, listen, I've already got 1 foot out of this fucking country at this point in time. I really do. If y'all keep fucking this up and you keep making bullshit, like the first thing that Congress decided to do, the House decided to do, was to eliminate fucking gender speech for the House. In the meantime, we had fucking crazy ass Donald Trump as president, and COVID destroying fucking lives, literally killing people. And that was your first thing to do as Congress, as the House, was to get rid of gender speech. Fuck you. That's not a great start. Fix actual fucking problems. It's not gender speech. It's people fucking dying in the street. It's fucking inequality in America. It's a whole bunch of other issues that I'm not going to get into. But there's other shit you need to fix that's fucking way more important, where lives are at stake. Fix that shit. I'm done.
All right. Now, we got Stitch.
Just gonna sort of just chill and everything. Weather was actually kind of nice today. It was surprising because it was all like stormy and wet or whatever. So
it's kind of warm.
Hopefully,
it's nice.
Yeah. It sort of threw me off for a little bit. I was expecting it to be all cold when I was bringing like my trash can back from the curb and everything. I was like, oh, kind of nice out. This is odd. So maybe tomorrow, if it's not raining or if it's nice out, maybe go to the park, bring the kid to the park. Storm is able to stand up on her own, which is awesome but scary. Whatever. It's hilarious because I'm excited. I'm watching her kind of do it like in her own, but I'm like, I don't want to say anything to like distract her from doing it. I'm trying to like find my phone as quick as I can. So it was hilarious. And I made like a post on Facebook, and I tried to post a video from like Jurassic Park where they're opening the door. But Facebook said, no, you can't do that because of copyright infringements. And so I got mad and said, First Amendment. Rights. No, I didn't because I understood. And so I was like, oh, I just got to delete it. Whatever. The joke is missed or whatever. But,
you can put on YouTube. You put it on YouTube and not monetize.
Yeah, I tried to. I got it off YouTube and I saved it onto my phone and everything through like this like conversion thing, and then when I put it from my phone to the Facebook app, so it would just play, so you wouldn't have to go to like a link. It would just like play like I had it saved on my phone. Facebook still flagged it, so I was like, oh, okay, Facebook's smart. I did something wrong and I shouldn't have done that, and I accept responsibility for it because it's Facebook's platform and they can do whatever the fuck they want to. And I was fine with it, so I didn't get all butthurt. And so then besides that, the raids on Ghost of Tsushima I'm going to do, obviously WandaVision. Oh, I also I have an inversion table in my garage.
Oh,
that,
nice.
One of my friends was like getting rid of, and she was like, yeah, I was just getting rid of it. I was like, well, I'll take it rid of if you're not using it. She's like, yeah, it's like...
Is it a teeter?
A month old. I don't even know what those terms mean, but it's... I don't know. It does. It looks. It's nice or whatever. I mean, it's. You can go full inversion or whatever the fuck it is, like upside down.
They're super helpful. Like I was having back pains, and that should have really helped me out.
I haven't like gotten on it yet because I was just busy with other stuff. So tomorrow I'll probably go onto it, and I want to make sure I'm doing it properly and not just like.
Make sure Lilo's there to help you out if you can't get out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Make sure I don't fucking hurt myself.
I'm saying that fairly because it's hard to like the first time you try to get like if you go fully inverted to like getting up, it's difficult.
Yeah, I've heard you gotta like work your way to it. It's best to. I don't want to just crank it so I'm upside down for however many minutes. So I'll probably do that. And other than that, I'll just see what's on Netflix. I feel like I'm missing something on Netflix. I know there's a couple of animes that I want to maybe try to knock out on my list.
Kipo.
Oh, there was a good one that
Demon Slayer.
I cannot remember. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll probably post you guys in the group what it is. But
Prison School, right?
I watched Prison School. Prison School was really good. And then I'm just gonna sort of watch how things play out and everything. I mean, hopefully everything starts to get back to normal or whatever. At least with 2021, I feel like, in theory, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of normalcy, and us not having to talk about what our elected officials are doing that is fucking bananas this week and everything. So hopefully that comes to fruition and we can get back to some normalcy and I can just focus on my life rather than crazy shit that's happening across the country or whatever. So we'll see.
All right. We all know now that I am terrible at jumping from one stage to the other. But what I'm going to be really, really focusing on is making sure every goddamn motherfucker on this planet is voting for them Golden Eggplant Awards because they're out in the wild. Folks should be voting. Folks should be arguing. Folks should be hitting us up with venom in their fucking mouth, talking about why come this person is on here or how come that person is. I love all of it. I love the fucking debate.
It's already happened, though.
Huh?
It's already been happening.
Oh, I love that. I love the back and forth. And hopefully Interspecies Reviewers wins. And happy birthday, MLK, because that's coming up on Monday, I believe, right?
Oh, is it?
That's
Shit.
all I got.
Yeah. I didn't sign up to work that day, so I think I have the day off. That's...
Yeah, I'm Monday off too.
All right.
There you go. Long weekend. Hopefully to catch up.
Yeah.
Old Ninja, take us out, goddammit.
Whatever you're doing right now, in the next 7 days, try to be safe. Try to stay away from large crowds. Just don't do it.
Always? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Check us out anywhere you can hear the dankest podcast on the internet. We're Black and Black Times Infinity. Check us out. Beat and BTI. It's BTHAN BTI anywhere you can listen to podcasts. You can email us at beathandbti@gmail.com. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, SoundCloud. But check out our official website, benheadproductions.com/beathandbti. We also have a Discord now. You can go on there. I think, do you have to register? I'm not quite sure, Cronus.
We'll
I haven't used
send the
Discord
link
before.
out
Yeah.
temporarily. Yeah.
So we have a
probably just
Discord.
join.
Yeah, we have a Discord now. It's brand new, so give us time. We're still trying to figure out the kinks or whatnot, but that's new to our platform. But vote in the Golden Eggplant Awards. You can see the link on our Twitter page. So on our Twitter page, the link is on there. It should be pinged, or if not, it's like the first 3 tweets. There you go.
Maybe if you got rid of that old yee ass haircut, you get some bitches on your dick.
Fuck you. My hair's nice and shiny.
That shit ain't shiny, bro.
I was waiting for somebody to say, hold up.
That shit is dull. Just like Donald Trump.